You have an intro for your stream? You know what's going on? Two boy Syzmec. We'll go back at it for round two. Oh yeah, no, that the fact that they came out the cut with these tracks, well, I mean, just to say this, I think I mentioned it yesterday that remember there was rumors about how Kendrick's Euphoria track was longer, and so like I don't know how long exactly it was supposed to be. Some people are saying it was 12 minutes. There's others that are saying it was 19 minutes. But if you add up the minutes, it's Euphoria was like a little over six. Um, what's going on, Red? What's going on? Um, Hope everyone's doing good. All right, so yeah, after hearing the speculations, it seems like it's actually gonna. There's another track coming in. I don't know if he's gonna be dropping. I think these two are gonna let the tracks marinate for the weekend. You know what I mean? I think it's interesting that Kendrick chose to release right away. You know what I mean? After Drake, you know what I mean? Like it was yeah, yeah, and just after listening to Drake's drop yesterday on Family Matters, the beginning part of that is the back end of push up. And so it's not. It's. I think that he also had. I think this was already written and done before Kendrick even dropped Euphoria on. I think it was Monday, right? It was Tuesday. Sorry, it was Tuesday. And the I think there was a response. Like I didn't listen to it just before this live, and I had to look at the. I can pull up the lyrics. I don't think there was any responses to what Kendrick was saying on Euphoria, and mostly the second half was towards the other the other the other rappers in the feud. You know what I mean? Like he took shots at Future. I didn't hear nothing on Metro Boomin, but I could be wrong.
Good look, Rez. I still had my mic muted. Um, yeah,
Oh, wait,
yeah, my mic.
wait.
I hate when I did. I always do that. I mute it at the end of the stream and then forget to unmute it when I start back up. He mentioned
Okay, okay.
Kendrick mentioning his kids, which he didn't mention in what's his face, the Future song. He mentioned that Future.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He mentioned that Kendrick mentioned his kids. I'm pretty sure he mentioned his kids in Euphoria. So I'm thinking like that
I
had
see
to
what
have
you're
been there.
saying. I think you're right. Like he probably did have responded from Euphoria, but I forgot that he probably didn't have any responses from Friday's or Thursday's drop. What was that name of the
616 in
track again?
LA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 616 in LA. So
Mm.
I think that's what I meant by when I say that because you're right. He did mention the fact that Kendrick mentioned his kids because he ended up talking about his family on the first half of this diss record, and in the third verse or second verse, he
Mm-hmm.
alluded to um basically basically is it sexual assault? Not sexual assault. Sorry.
Yeah,
He alluded to beating his wife. Sorry,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
what he alluded to, and so pretty much he says that's why you moved to your New York. I guess that's what he was getting at. I can't find
Is it
the
self
bar where
defense
it's
because she's
on.
bigger than you? Hold up, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. And so pretty much that's his angle. I mean, that's nothing new for Drake. He always goes after the women in terms of whoever the other significant other is of the person he's battling.
Yeah.
Um, but it is
Oh.
shocking to hear that because we don't look at Kendrick as someone who would do that. At least from what I understand, as like we understand. Oh, he actually well, we see him as the activist, but Drake did even attack that too. He attacked that too as saying that you think you're some activist when you really you're a phony.
The black you black
Hold on.
lives above are black queens, but you married to a mixed breed, something like that. What did he say? I can pull it up.
Sorry, this man
Uh,
just wait. Oh, that's Kendrick. Hold on. Where's oh of course
Family Matters.
I have the wrong one up. Okay, so
I've been with black and white
I,
and everything in between. You the black messiah wifing up a mixed queen.
yeah. But there's another bar in here that he man
The one
where
where
I know
he's
it's in the
like,
beginning.
y'all been engaged for 7 years and you still ain't wiped her up.
I didn't think I remember hearing that, but I didn't. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he basically saying that yeah. I think damn. I wish I was more prepared. No, yeah, this is for the moment. Like I wasn't expecting this.
Hey,
Hey, what's going
what's
on,
up,
Nicola?
Nicola?
Let's see.
What song you
Damn,
talking about?
I'm talking about Family Matters, but I'm trying to figure out where he talks about how Kendrick is the like he claims to be like he claims to be an activist when he's not like or that's what he's alluding to, and
Oh,
that's an interesting take because that's as part of his fan base. That is something that we look at him as is like someone who speaks on the community, like
mm-hmm.
and so
I really like
always so
the bar that he was
always
like,
rapping
go.
always rapping like you're sorry always rapping like you about to get the slaves freed. You just acting like an activist. It's it's make believe. That's that I forgot the cadence that it was supposed to be rapped in, but that's pretty much the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is something that like goes to the heart of who Kendrick is as an artist. And so like I was like, okay, that's an interesting take because I haven't really heard anyone get at Kendrick in that way.
Yeah,
So I was like, okay, I'll give him that. That was an interesting bar. That caught my eye. That right away, like as soon as I heard it before the stream, I was like, okay, that has to be something that Kendrick is sitting on. Like, okay, I see you.
yeah. The
Um,
he also turned around and was like, yeah, you are always preaching about the community, but you don't give back. And I'm like, it's kind of tough. Like even if Drake is
yeah.
like a known giver back to the community, and then for him to turn around and be like, bro, you don't even give back to the community, is kind of tough.
Too much about what either of them have done for the community. I'll say this much, like, um, I wish I did. On top of my head, I can't think of anything either of them have done. But it does hit hard to Kendrick because him being like the face of conscious rap and of our time and just being that staple of okay, he's for the people by the people or yeah. And so um hearing that just it just makes me think if he heard this track and that stuck with him, that those bars getting at who he is as an artist and who he is in this industry really digs at, you know, basically pushing back at what Kendrick was doing on the on 616 and on Euphoria,
Mm-hmm.
which was getting at Drake's character. And so I was like, okay, so this is gonna be interesting back and forth going forward in the coming weeks. Um, the fact that both of them didn't really respond to either of the new disses in terms of like in terms of Drake responding to 616. Drake might have responded to Euphoria,
Euphoria.
which was dropped on Tuesday.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because he had from Tuesday he had three more days to till he dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
And so um and then with Kendrick, it's obvious that because there was rumors of Euphoria being a longer piece, and the fact that he took so long to drop, it took like about 3 weeks to drop a diss track at all. Um, it tells me that yeah, these were already done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean in terms of what they were. Um, now now the next coming up track, if there is one more track from that's one more piece of the original Euphoria track that Kendrick is gonna drop. We probably will see that Monday. I doubt that they're gonna drop within the weekend. I think they're gonna want to let people talk about it, dissect it, and I think that I because this is in the court of public opinion right now. We're trying to people are having this debate. We're having this conversation on live stream.
Right.
And so which to me really tells me that the impact of these tracks. You know what I mean? Like if these tracks were nothing, they didn't have nothing of substance. We probably would have left it at the first few diss tracks from what was started the whole beef recently. In terms of Metro Boomin and Future, that whole album, those
Yeah.
two albums actually,
Uh-huh.
and we would probably be still talking about push ups and Euphoria. If these tracks weren't nothing, we'd probably be like, okay, it's over, it's done. There's nothing like they probably might drop. They might have dropped more, and we probably would have fizzled out.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's so impactful, we're everyone is looking at both sides sideways. You know what I mean? They're like, wait, what?
All right.
Um, and so one thing that caught my attention by a couple streamers was um, they mentioned that uh, hold on, my point.
Oh, but let me
My point.
respond to Nicola real quick. Yeah, it looks like that, but they're not. So Kendrick Lamar literally took an entire month to drop the 3 songs that he dropped, which they
Yeah,
have been saying was technically one song. When he first started writing it, everybody was alluding at the fact that it was one song. Whereas
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Drake has also been taking his time writing up his stuff. But in the fact of with Drake, like I always say that like Kendrick might have said in I want to say it was 616, but it might have been the new one. He meet the Grams.
Let me
It's
forget that.
not 20 versus 1, it's 1 versus 20.
I think that was
Drake
on Euphoria. I
Okay,
believe it
yeah.
was Euphoria. Yeah,
Drake is actually versus 20 people. He is every time he's dropping a diss track, he's having to go respond to all these other people on top of responding to Kendrick Lamar. So he's doing it at a fast pace because he's not only versing Kendrick Lamar, he's also versing all these people. So he still has to respond in a reasonable manner. So that's why
yeah.
his is coming out so fast.
I mean, hold up. I want to respond to Nicola. I know what you mean, Nicola, but I mean, because these artists are these guys are at this point are veterans at their craft right now. That
In
like
their tenure.
I don't the yeah it's basically yeah their tenure. Yeah, you're right. Um, the fact that they're so uh what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah,
Experience.
not just their experience. They're basically OGs in the game at this point in terms
Yeah.
of how long they've been in. They're these are people who have had years of experience writing. So I don't think I think for them what took them so long is to break down one information and how they were going to present that information.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, Kendrick is notorious for taking long to put out projects, and I think it's because he really uh cares about his craft, and I think that's what took him so long. Um, and it shows by the fact that if the original track of Euphoria was 19 minutes or so, then going into the studio and a producer probably told him like, look, you might want to break this down into shorter pieces because people are not going to digest it as you think. Like
Yeah, they're
me
struggling to
who
do it
listens to
now.
rap, yeah, like me who listens to rap, I'm gonna I'll sit there and listen to the 19 minutes. But to everyday listeners, they're really like, dude, I'm not gonna listen to a 19-minute track. You kidding me?
I
um,
forgot who it was.
yeah.
Somebody was complaining that Drake's this is 6 minutes long, or no, that Kendrick's this was 6 minutes long, but they have a 12-minute long diss track. I heard that in one of the React videos. I'm like, that's crazy. How are you
You're
complaining
talking about
about
game?
somebody? No. It was I forget who it was, but somebody said that bro, your diss track 6 minutes long, but you got a fucking 12-minute long diss track. How are you talking about somebody's stuff when yours is 2 times the amount?
There has to be an artist, right? Because if you're saying they have a track that this track record that's 12 minutes, the only people that comes to mind are uh, Mace and Cameron, who have their own podcast. I don't know
Okay,
if
it
that's what
was
you're talking
Cameron.
about.
It was Cameron. That's who he said it
Okay,
was.
okay. Yeah, so that makes sense because Mace went at Cameron at one point. He went at I forgot who he battled when he first started, but
Mm-hmm.
or when not when he first started, but when he was battling. Um, hey Daniel, what's going on?
Yo,
But yeah, like I think the 6 minutes was manageable in terms of the everyday listener. Yeah, you can everyday listeners can digest a 6 minute track.
yeah,
At the very most, if anything, you know what I mean.
yeah,
Nowadays, I'll say this much: I have seen that tracks in the hip hop scene have gone smaller. Like I on average, I do
you get
see
like two
a lot
minutes
of
at the
yeah,
most.
2 minutes something. Yeah, yeah. When before I would see the average would be like 3 minutes or something.
Three and a half,
But
4 minutes, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I don't think 6 minutes is that bad. But I do believe that if it was 19 minutes, if I was a producer, if I was sitting in the studio, I'd be like, yo, break that down. Not only will you have an easier time with people digesting it, but you would have consistent drops rather than okay, I'm gonna write this 19-minute track, record it, drop it, and then you have to come up with another track if you need to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
With
gotta also
this,
look at it. You also gotta look at it this way. Um, 616, Meet the Grams, Euphoria. I think all of them are like 3 songs put into one song.
yeah, like it was a
All of their songs
continuation
are
for sure.
technically just 3 songs because they got 3 different beats, and all of them they're rapping in different formulas. They're not rapping the same way in any of these diss tracks. All of them sound different. They have different vibes to them, which is like both of their mainstay now, because they both have it where they'll do one beat, then switch the beat up, and then rap in a different form, then go back to the original beat. They both been doing that for years, so they're taking it
Something new,
their
yeah.
regular thing and going back and making it the diss track format.
Yeah, I mean to be quite honest, like um, just on the producer side, because I was gonna bring that up too, like the switch ups on the track. A lot of them are very drastic. Like I personally prefer a flaw. If you're gonna do that, I would rather hear a flawless, transition.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And usually, I hear it in the drums or in the percussion. But they uh, they did their thing. Whoever I think Alchemist produced um Meet the Meet the Grams, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me double check that real quick. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was produced by Alchemist. Yeah, producer the Alchemist. Yeah, so Alchemist produced that one. And I'll you know what's crazy to me, because although the beat isn't like that like crazy, it wasn't as bad as what people were making it out to be, because I heard a lot of comments saying that it was only like three 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 piano notes, and I was like, okay, so I mean, we've heard that like in various different forms of beats in the past. I don't think that's a big issue, but when I heard it, when I first heard it firsthand, I was like, okay, it's not just three notes, and it's a pretty well produced track in terms of if you were just looking at the beat by itself, it's not the craziest diss track beat, but it does go, for what it is.
I just
And
looked on.
I think, and I do agree with someone who said this online yesterday. I don't know if you know who Jordan Tower is.
Mm-mm.
Jordan Tower is a hip hop journalist. He does a lot of YouTube videos on hip hop news and stuff.
Okay.
But pretty much what he was saying was he probably chose this beat so he can, because he want people to focus on the bars. And I was
So
like, okay, yeah, that makes sense,
what
I
I've
guess.
been hearing is like um 616 and Meet the Grams have that type of beat, because the way Kendrick is rapping, he has like a villain type flow that he's doing. It's supposed to scare you. Like he's rapping like the boogeyman, and you can hear it in his voice just how much inner rage he got going from him, and how the way he's delivering his bars is kind of crazy. He and the beat kind of goes with the fear. It's a low, slow beat,
Yeah,
like a
I see what you
horror
mean.
villain type instrumental that will play as a horror villain showing up, and it kind of feeds into the way that he's delivering his bars. I just went on Twitter. I was about to pull up the post I put on
Okay,
Twitter
okay.
this morning. They are trending with 1.43 million posts.
Who is?
Drake and Kendrick.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
It's
Sorry,
a
just
Drake and Kendrick tag says it's trending 1.4 million posts.
I mean, yeah, people want to see what's going on, because just like we mentioned yesterday, this has been going on for 10 years practically, at least on Kendrick's side. Like I know that Drake has been taking slight shots at Kendrick, but it was never this direct.
Yeah.
And so uh, the fact that it's going trending now does not surprise me. This is, and not to mention, like, in terms of beef, this is the probably the biggest beef in recent times in terms of biggest two titans collide. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like uh, I can't remember the last beef I felt this way about two artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's been that long. But with with the angle that they each took, like it can go either way. I can't say that with Drake making allegations on Kendrick being a woman beater, to Kendrick making claims, claiming that Drake isn't a good father, and being um you know
Child.
uh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a pedo, allegedly. We're gonna say allegedly, because we're here
Yeah.
on a platform, and we don't know. We don't know,
There
but
is
they're making
no
those
proven
allegations.
facts.
Yeah, no one has no. There's no cases. There's no one has any charges. These are just allegations coming from either side, and yeah, seeing them go at it like this is um it really is going to come to the public opinion. Like, it, from what I understand, I don't think there has been any charges, at least that we know from the public on Kendrick's side, that his wife has pressed charges on him, because when there's a spousal abuse, that was the phrase I was trying to look for earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Spousal abuse. If there's spousal abuse charges on someone, police get involved, yada yada yada. There's record of it.
Yeah.
I think, and if what Drake is alleging to have said be true, then I would assume
You should
that
be able
there
to
would
pull it
be,
up.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Not only would you be able to pull it up, if it wasn't, if there was no charges pressed on Kendrick for that, then my guess it was dealt internally. Like they kept it under wraps. They didn't go to the police, and they settled it how they settled it. But Drake also mentioned that, uh hold on. Drake mentioned that there's this guy who used to be on TDE. I don't know um I don't know where he works now in terms of music, but he claims that this guy who used to be in his camp, who I don't know if he was a manager,
Mm-hmm.
hold on, but said to have had sexual relations with his mom. I mean, not with his mom, with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He said don't make Dave Freeze. Dave Freeze is the guy who he's talking about, but he says don't make Dave Freeze. Wait, I heard that one of them little kids might be Dave Free. Don't make it Dave Freeze, because if your GM is your BM's secret BD, then this is all making pretty fucking sense to me. So he
That's the
says, because
one.
you're
That's his producer that robbed his dad, right?
no. We're gonna get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Uh, this is Dave Free. I guess worked on TDE
Mm.
as a manager, or I don't know exactly what. It says GM, so general manager. That because it says your GM, general manager, is your baby mama's secret baby
Baby
daddy,
daddy. Yeah.
BD. So he takes. I like how he did that as a writer. I like how he did that. So I have to point that out right now. That was an interesting way to word that. But yeah, so he's alluding to that his baby mom cheated on him with a manager at TDE,
Yeah.
or yeah, or once was a manager at TDE, because I don't think he's there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so that goes to the heart of probably also why he brought up the allegations of him beating his wife,
Yeah.
because people were saying that might be the reason why he did it. Regardless of the reason, that's not okay. I don't condone violence like that. That's not cool.
Right.
Um, besides, and moving forward to what you mentioned, yeah, his dad did get robbed, but he was, I think he was working at a KFC. He didn't get robbed. Top Dog, this is well known. If you go, there's interviews about it. Kendrick was speaking about it on like a bunch of interviews on the radio,
Yeah, I've seen
talking
it.
about how he met TDE, or Top Dog, and Top Dog robbed the KFC where his dad was working at.
Yeah.
So like I thought that was a reach, because I was like, okay, yeah, that's true, but not really. Like, yes, he was a cashier at the front who was there when KFC got robbed, yes, but his dad personally did not get robbed. So I
Well,
thought that
yeah.
was
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
laughable. To me, that was kind of laughable, and I was like, okay, that's a reach. I see what you're trying to do there, but people, because it's well known, and when people, because the thing is, people are going to look up all these facts and try to figure out what exactly is going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and so they're going to find those interviews. So it's not like Kendrick would shy away from that.
I mean, like you said, it's a
Um,
well-known fact. Like I know of it. I know that it happened while he was at work, and then he started working with Kendrick years later. It's just like a widely known fact. It's just like you gotta throw it in there. Like you don't
yeah,
really have any dirt on him, and you have to slide
yeah,
that
yeah.
in there, just like like he would slide in about your dad being a deadbeat dad. Kendrick is so crazy. That man said, "I wish your granddad wore a condom." I was like,
I
"Oh my lord!" Cause you're
No, yeah.
bad, you're a sorry person, and your dad's a sorry person. I wish your granddad wore a condom.
It's crazy that you mentioned that because I completely forgot that he went out of his way to talk to because he was talking to his son Adonis, I think is his name.
He wrote a
That's how he
letter.
wrote.
The first
That's
verse
how he
is him
wrote.
writing a letter to Drake, I think. Then it switched into him writing a letter to Drake's dad. Then it switched into him writing a letter to Drake's mom. Then he switched it up and brought up that, oh, well, you got a daughter who I'm writing a letter to now that you don't want nobody to know. I'm sorry that your dad's a deadbeat dad. He's hiding you too. And then he went back and was like, oh, he got like 20 kids that he's ashamed of. And I'm like, bro, that's crazy. That's tough.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, Drake is well known to like have been around. It's not like he talks about it in his raps.
Yeah.
That's the lifestyle he lives. And that's nothing new. So it's not far fetched. What is new is the fact that he's mentioning that he might have other kids. It's not too crazy. Not crazy to me to believe that.
The daughter thing is like he the way he stated it. The daughter thing is just probably 100% true.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like differentiated from him mentioning that he has other kids, that he made a complete whole verse specifically talking about a daughter, and then turned back around to mention that he had other kids besides said daughter. So I feel like he knows something that we don't know, that he has a daughter. Which once again go back to the what's his face, Pusha T, bringing back up really deep down dark stuff. That's like, wasn't this supposed to be like a friendly competition? Like, what happened to friendly competition? Isn't that what you said in the other song? Like, I feel like at this point it's like they actually hate each other. This is legit hate at this point.
Yeah, no, especially after yesterday's drops, if that regardless of whether Euphoria was a full track and this was already written, or regardless if yesterday's Drake diss was also a continuation of Push Ups and that was already written. Right. The fact that they're speaking on all that shit in the way in the detail that they're speaking on it really is telling. And they're not only are they both looking at each other sideways, Drake has to keep his head on a swivel because he can't trust not only nobody that he works with in the music industry, but that's including his own camp, his own crew.
Yeah, when you were saying that yesterday, I had no clue what you were talking about until I went back and listened to 616. I hadn't listened to 616 yet. And he just spent that whole song like, yeah, everybody in your camp works for me. Keep an eye over your shoulder. Know that people around you aren't your friends. You treat everybody bad. These aren't your people.
Like it was if I was in Drake's shoes, I'd probably put out some fake information to see who and tell it to one or two people just to see where that information goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Almost like a bait. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I know that I can't trust anybody, but who are the close people I have? And if I tell them a fake lie or something, how far will it go? You know what I mean? And that's how he's gonna know. At this point, that's only.
I just looked up and realized that the 616 cover is actually the Meet the Grams cover.
Yeah. It's part of it.
I didn't know mine until just now.
Oh yeah, because I was looking at the cover, I was like, that's an interesting choice. Like people were saying, oh, it's because the gloves are off. I'm like, okay, I get it. I think there's more meaning to that cover because I do have the cover up on my browser, but There's like paperwork. There's pill bottles.
Yeah, the pill bottles are
And a
Drake's. They said
jacket.
that that his name is on these pill bottles.
So like maybe he's alluding to because he mentioned Percocets. I think
Mm.
that's what that might be supposedly, and someone was saying that it could be fabricated. I'll be I don't know, but I'll say this much because I'll give you the perspective coming from a graphic designer perspective.
Mm.
If I were to look at a blank document, right? If someone were to give me a blank document, okay, like I'll give you a hypothetical. If someone were to give me their report card from college, right, or from high school, whatever,
Yeah.
I can take that and I can scan it in and I can change information. I can match the font. I can make it look legit, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And so that could be the same thing with the pill bottles in terms of the label. It could be done with the receipt and you know what I mean? Like you might have to get a receipt machine to make it look or get the same effect as a real receipt.
I mean, this
Um,
kind of alludes
but
to the
yeah,
fact that there are people in his camp, though.
no, yeah,
Like
yeah, no,
this
yeah.
could be
I'm
like
just,
him saying that we got this from the people who are around you. I think that's the bigger meaning to it. This is stuff that they brought from you to me.
yeah, because like, I'll. Okay, so let me ask you this: do you think I don't know if it's a button-up jacket or a button-up shirt,
Yes, a button up
but
shirt.
do you think that's something of Drake's, or do you think that was just something he put in because of all the dogs? Because it looks like it has a pit bull on it. I forgot that it's from Looney Tunes. That character, I think.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the Tom and Jerry cat.
Bulldog.
I
Yeah,
mean, the
yeah,
Tom
yeah.
and Jerry
Oh, you're
bulldog. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're right because he. Wait, was it? No, no. He said he mentioned Chippendale. That's what Drake said on push-ups. Oh, don't make me have to chip a nail and chip a. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So. Okay, I thought that was something from that show, but you're right. It is from Tom and Jerry.
I feel like
Um.
it's something that Drake owns. If you're looking at it, it's probably like these birth control pills down here, or I think Plan B pills. They're either birth control or Plan B, and then like
Oh, the corner.
yeah, the pharmacy thing down here is probably Plan B pills. I feel like this glove, the way I looked at it when I first seen it, I thought of OJ. It's the if it don't fit, it's not legit.
And OJ just passed, so I can see why we would think that. That I could definitely picture that as a way as a meaning.
And the glove
But you're
just
right.
is just random. I have no clue what the glove means. Somebody said that it's a made man glove from Rick Ross. I'm not sure. I
I
don't
mean,
know. And then
I mean, it does have the Maybach logo.
yeah,
These are Maybach gloves.
yeah.
So do you get these when you buy a Maybach, or is this for like motorcycles? What I wouldn't know.
It might be
Um,
because you know that's something they kind of do when you buy vehicles. They give you overly priced stuff with it, and then I think like one of these receipts is probably like a gambling receipt. I'm thinking the yellow one is like a gambling receipt because you know he brought up the gambling, the drugs.
is that what that is? Because I don't gamble, so I don't know what I've never seen a gambling receipt
Yeah, I
and
don't
what that
know
looks
either,
like.
and I can't really read it. It's not really legible, but I kind of feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's what it is.
I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Drake is sponsored by Stake. Stake is a gambling company or online gambling company, and we I've seen him in the recent like couple years, like when there's boxing matches, when there's big sporting events like the finals and the NBA or whatnot. Drake is always posting up. I'm gonna be like I think his recent one of his recent ones was he put money on Jake Paul for a boxing fight,
Mm-hmm.
like, and it's all done by Stake, there are some people that have said that Drake is only doing that. He's not putting up his own money. He's basically they're giving him money to pretend to use to bet, and it's a means of marketing. That's what I've heard going around on YouTube. people who talk about it.
Mm.
And so you're right. It might have something to do with the gambling thing. Um, I mean, to me that's it's nothing new. It's not surprising. What I can say is that this cover that Kendrick chose to take a picture of with the jacket and everything really there's a lot of questions around it. It's not so direct. It makes sense. It's Kendrick. You have to dissect it a little bit further. There might be more meanings to it than we are getting at right now too. You know what I mean? So with
Right.
but if we're talking about covers with the Family Matters, it's a picture of LA. Yeah, interesting. And you know what's funny? You know those old sitcoms, those family sitcoms.
Yeah.
That the title is giving that. It's
Yeah.
the
Show
yellow
Family
font.
Matters. The
Is that the
sitcom
title? The
called,
actual title from the show?
there's a Family Matters sitcom. I'm pretty sure that's the Family Matters logo. Hold on, let me check. Let me go back.
Okay, because I know there's a Family Matters show. I just didn't know if that. I forgot if that was the logo for it.
If I'm not mistaken, let me
Family.
check. Show. Yeah, actually, kind of.
Well,
It's not one
I
to
think
one,
they
but yeah,
I think I don't think they did it exactly like that because they don't want to deal with copyright. But the font is almost similar.
yeah,
The font that they chose is more blocky. In terms of because I see a bunch of them there.
yeah. There's
The
one
advertising
over
material
the
that
city. Let me send that one to you. This one is like when the show first start. Oh, I could actually just say copy.
God damn it, Tommy.
This is like
But
when
yeah,
the
no,
show first start. This is the image that shows up. It's practically the exact same thing.
yeah, I was looking at that. It's like the only difference is that one's sunset, and I think this one's in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, on a side note, I like the way that photo looks for the cover. Like, I like the lighting. I like that where they took it, like the politics. I like that imagery. But he has a point. Yeah, his angle was really well done in terms of how to market this cover. You know what I mean?
Drake
Just
is
simple.
100% firing back on all fronts. It's kind
Yeah,
of
no,
not
yeah,
amounting to anything, but he is doing a hell of a job. I will give him
no,
that.
yeah. I mean, I can't say that I would have rather him could just go out and go on Kendrick rather than everyone else on the second half of Family Matters because I noticed that I was like, okay, so he dedicated the whole verse right
Yeah.
for Kendrick mostly. That was the first half, and hearing the second half, although he did have more bars for Kendrick on the second half, it was also he was also taking shots at everyone else, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
what
worth
I
your
keep
time.
saying. Like, what really can he do? I mean, he has no choice though.
I
Like,
don't think
at
that's a
the end of
choice.
the day, like, yes, he's beefing with Kendrick, but like, if these people are behind him, punching him in the back of the head, and they gonna be like, "Oh, you didn't respond to this person, you didn't respond to that person," he kinda has no choice. Like, that's what I keep
I see what you're
saying. Like,
saying.
Kendrick
I see what you're saying on
isn't
that.
fighting anybody except Drake. So Kendrick has all the time in the world to write a full verse for anything he want about Drake. That's why he took a month to drop. He said Drake has no choice but to react to all the rest of these people. Rick Ross literally dropped a diss track an hour after Drake dropped push-ups. So like, what was
Well,
he to
I know what
do?
you're saying.
Like
Well,
he's just in a corner at this point.
the only reason why I said what I said was because they're so like he easily breaks them down. Like this, what I refer back to what he said about Future. Like the fact that he said that I gave you your first number one in your hand. You're done.
Oh, Future's dead.
You're done.
He just
Yeah,
don't even
like
need to say
Ross,
anything after that.
it's low hanging fruit to me. To me, that's low hanging fruit. Like Ross is easy. Like I thought he murdered Ross
Yeah, he burned
in
Ross
this
too.
Family Matters.
It wasn't even no
Like
point in him coming back on that one.
like and the thing is, he used what Ross posted on Instagram or whatever. He was talking about how, because I remember hearing this last week that uh or Ross had posted up a message or alluded to a message of Drake texting his mom about how, oh, don't worry about what he has to say. He's probably just the side effects of Ozempic, which Ozempic is uh been in the news and been in recent the last y- year or so that it helps with losing weight,
Mm-hmm.
and it's used for people with diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, and the fact that he used his basically his attack against him really is kind of funny. Like it's like, okay, yeah, like that's why I say that I don't. To me, if anything, it's just comical. Like I am entertained by those bars. I just don't think that because they're so easy to 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 take down that it's necessary to go after them. But I do see your point in terms of, okay, if he doesn't go after them, then there's going to be other people. Because I might not think that way, but there are people, because this is in the public opinion, court of
Mm-hmm.
public opinion.
Right.
So I can see that being um a an angle people take on all this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
like,
you're
oh,
right. Like,
Kendrick murdering him while all the rest of these people murdering him too. Like, he has to say something.
yeah,
Either
no,
that
like,
or he make a song for them specifically, and that would be even more pointless. Why would you make a whole song about a literal nobody in this type of event where you could just drop a few bars about them? You're
yeah,
not even
like,
worth his time to make a whole song about.
no, yeah, yeah. Like he's literally telling them, you guys are only worth a couple bars.
Right,
And if he does spin the block on them for a few more bars, it's really just for entertainment.
right.
And I'll be right there with you. I'm here for it. I'm here for the entertainment. Bring on the bars. Fuck it. But yeah, like in terms of him getting at Kendrick, he had to dig for these bars. Like I think I heard someone say that he it was able Drake was able to get the engagement ring or the ring that he was going to give to his baby moms,
Mm-hmm. It's in
and he had
the
and in the video, right?
yeah, not Family Matters, the other one.
Oh, okay. It was in hold on. It was is it push-ups? It wasn't in push-ups.
Oh yeah, it is Family Matters. It is Family Matters. You're right. You're right. You're right. At the very end of
Yeah,
Family
no.
Matters, after the van
It, it,
crushing.
yeah, the video was very like I guess Drake does this, and I know it.
What's up,
To me is
Squishy?
it's not what's going on, Squishy. To me, it's not surprising that to me it's not surprising that that Drake would do that. Like those are mind games. Like that's not the exact van, but it's a similar van to Good Kid. The what was on the cover of Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay, so I have no
The
context for
ring.
that. I just knew that it was the van
Oh, you
from
didn't
that
know
cover.
that?
I knew it was the van. I've seen the cover before, and I knew it was the van from that cover. I don't know what the van means. What's the meaning behind the van?
No, okay. So don't quote me on this because I don't know. That might be the van that his family drove around when he was growing up in that in Compton.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where he grew up. Um, but yeah, like yeah, I think that's just that because that that whole album, I think that was his debut album, right?
If I'm not too for sure, it might
Hold
be.
on, hold on. Good Kid, because Dr. Dre produced that. Yeah, Good Kid, Mad City was released. Was that his debut? Hold on.
And also,
2012.
I went back, and it's God's Plan, where
Oh, it's his
brother.
second studio album.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that was not his debut, but it was definitely his um second studio album.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that that definitely had a lot to do with him coming up I don't know too much else about it really, but I do know that's what Drake was referencing was, this is the van that,
Yeah, as soon as I
ma-
seen the van, I knew that was what it was. Like I didn't
yeah.
know, I don't know any context behind the van, but I knew where the van came from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just don't think that I doubt that that's the same van. Like it's been
Oh
how many
yeah, nah,
years?
I doubt it's the same van.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he probably just got a similar looking van to it.
Mm-hmm.
The ring though is what I'm more paying attention to because if that's the ring that he was gonna give to the woman he was gonna marry, then that speaks volumes, dude.
That's tough.
That's tough. Yeah, like forget the okay. That I don't know how you gauge or level what like the cover that Kendrick dropped for Meet the Grams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this might be all stuff from Kendrick.
From
I don't know what's
Drake's
more
house.
disrespectful. I
Yeah.
guess is a better way of putting it. I don't
I
know what's
feel
more
like
disrespectful, the
logically,
ring or this,
personally, not only the
huh?
ring, but the van on top of that. Then
No, I don't think
somebody
no,
said,
because
hmm,
it's not the real van though. It might look like the van, but it's
yeah,
not the van.
it's like
It,
the meaning
the
behind it.
visual,
Like
the visual, yeah, the visual is okay. I'll give you that. But okay. If
the
let me ask you
van
this:
adds on
if
top of the ring. Then the fact that somebody was like something about a restaurant. I don't know what the restaurant
oh,
means.
New Ho King, it's in
Okay,
Toronto.
what is the restaurant?
New Ho King, it's a Chinese restaurant, I think, in Toronto.
Is it like somewhere Kendrick frequents or something? I don't know what it is.
Well, maybe I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he did the video. Drake did the video there. But Kendrick alluded to it in Euphoria, I believe.
Okay. And then it was
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
he was like, "Pharrell, come get his legacy out of my house." I was like, "That's tough." So, what is those the chains that they had in the video in his house? Did that
And
have any
so
meaning?
no, so they weren't in the house. They were in the restaurant. That was the restaurant. I was inside the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Um, I mean, okay, I'm gonna say this much. I've only seen snippets of the video. I have not seen the video. I've only seen snippets of it from people critiquing the stuff that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can say is that Drake probably rented out the restaurant. The guy who's wearing those chains are Pharrell's chains. Pharrell Williams from
Yeah, 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 yeah.
who was once the co-founder of Nerd. I
Like,
don't know if you know who that.
so not Pharrell the artist.
Yeah, Pharrell the artist,
Okay,
Pharrell the
yeah, yeah.
producer,
Okay, yeah.
Pharrell the drop it like a top producer. That Pharrell.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, no, those are all his chains. Now I don't know too much about the because there's supposedly beef between Drake and Pharrell. I don't know about what. I don't know what over. I don't know for how long. But that's the reason why Drake bought those chains. And
Mm.
that's and the thing is, Kendrick mentioned that on Euphoria that um not only did he not like that he did that, but he not only would he I think Pusha T also that's the reason why he went at Drake as well was for not just for Kanye but also for Pharrell and himself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so remember he said I inherited the beef.
Yeah.
Like I think that was one of his lines on Euphoria. I inherited the beef, and so that to me tells me that there's a lot more beef underneath the beef that we've already seen. There's a lot of shit going on here that I try to piece it together. But yeah, those chains, they I think I don't know if it was Kendrick or if it was Pusha T who alluded to Kendrick possibly melting them down. But so that's what I thought happened to the chains. I thought after he
Mm-hmm.
bought them, he took pictures with it and he melted them down. Which in on one hand, yeah, if you just want the pieces for the precious metals like the gold, the jewels, or what have you, I can see you doing that, and you know. But if you're looking at it as a hip hop history value, then I would keep that as is. Now he also has bought the Tupac ring that Tupac once had, the crown one. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah, that's in the video, ain't it?
Yeah, yeah. So he has like hip hop history, which brings back to what I was saying earlier that um that's what Drake cares about the most. Like he doesn't. That's what he wants to gain from this. That's why. Even though you say there's nothing, there's like what is there to what's the reason? Why do this? There's nothing to
For him
gain
to
from it.
gain
That's
from
what
it,
he
yeah.
wants. If he takes down Kendrick, he gains that notoriety.
Well, yeah,
People
yeah.
were like,
He's there's nothing for him to
people.
lose. Yeah, he got a lot to gain, but like he loses nothing
I
here
was
at the end of the day because like if he loses, everybody's just gonna be like, well, yeah, it's Kendrick Lamar. What did you expect? Kendrick
I
has
think he doesn't
nothing
have
here to
anything to
gain.
lose, though.
Kendrick has
No, no, I
nothing
don't
here
think
to gain.
I don't think he doesn't have anything to lose per se because we live in a different time now. Like recently, Diddy got caught up with allegations of trafficking, right? And
Yeah.
what Kendrick was speaking on the recent tracks was Drake. He basically was making allegations that Drake is a pedophile allegedly.
He said he was saying that somebody
He's,
in
he's,
his
he's,
circle is. Drake has allegations around him, but there's somebody confirmed in his circle who is a actual pedo, a
yeah,
registered
well,
pedo.
I didn't know that. What I can say is that it's there.
I'm assuming.
These songs are not the first time I'm hearing these allegations.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that I say allegedly because we don't know. I'm gonna repeat that one more time. This is all alleged. I don't.
Yeah, right,
Nothing
right,
has been
right.
confirmed. All right. So with Drake, the way he moves, I can see him having kids. I can see him having a lot of kids. He gets around. Um, him being a pedophile. I mean, he did hang out with Diddy. There's that. Like I don't know how
Yeah.
close he was with Diddy, but there's that one situation that happened a couple years ago where
But
Diddy slapped him.
that's like what Syzmec, I want to say it is. He was like, back in '08. I dated SZA back in '08, and everybody was like, bruh, she was 16 back in '08, and he switched it up and was like, oh, no, actually, I mixed the years up so I can make that rhyme scheme, but then she was like, yeah, it wasn't when I was 16, I was of age. So, like, there's been a lot of allegations around Drake of being
So
around
better, yeah,
underage girls. But like
yeah. I
once
mean,
again, nothing has been proven about it.
no, no, and the reason why, the only reason why I'm bringing this up and it's all allegedly is that even though it's all alleged and there's no cases on it, that might spark up some like police to look into that because even before like this, police have been looking into hip hop tracks, like with the YSL case that's going on.
Yeah.
That's like they've been trying to push the idea of maybe allowing court to admit songs into evidence
Mm-hmm.
as a means of evidence. Which I'll say this right now, I don't think that's legal. I think that art shouldn't be taken as part of evidence because of art is so vague. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that means if that were to be illegal, everyone would be being taken to court
Right.
from not just like from gun charges to drug charges, you name it. You know what I mean,
Hold up, Nico.
so
What flight logs was he on? The flight logs. What did we talk about?
we're talking about the flight logs with Diddy because
Oh,
that's
oh
what
no, 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 no,
because
no, 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 no.
with
That wasn't.
because with Diddy, um, they recently raided all three of
His
his
compound. Yeah.
properties
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
from
that.
from California to New York to Florida,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and and I mean we're not here for that. We're not here to talk about it, but just to state the record, yeah, like that um all that coming back to around to Kendrick even said on Euphoria that don't make the old Diddy come back. I don't know if he was saying to stop him. I don't know if he was saying he has information on any of that stuff. I don't know what that ball was for, but it did strike me as like, okay, so he's he's making allegations of him sleeping on underage women. He's bringing up Diddy in one bar. You know, um, it's regardless of whether they're true or not, it can spark up cases to be opened up on Drake, and that's what he has to lose. He has a lot to lose in terms of endorsements. Like if the cases don't go to court, even if the case if he's not found guilty of anything,
I mean, but this is the
when it
same
comes
thing as like you just said. Like it's just the bars. It's always just
I
been the bars. It's not
I
like it's.
we
Mm,
no, I know what you mean. All I'm saying is because this is in the court of public opinion. This is all being talked about within the public. There's no court cases, right?
right.
So with that being said, like we know how companies work. They're all about image. They're all about image. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Drake is painting Kendrick as a woman beater, but the allegations that Kendrick is putting on Drake could be a problem towards his money. It might not, like I said, it's not going to put him in jail because his money's long, and he just like Diddy, he'll be able to take the cases
I
for as
mean,
long as
but like,
you know what I mean.
at the end of the day, if you look at it, like these is old allegations. He hasn't said anything new that would mean anything in the long run besides the fact of, oh, you might have more kids. Everything else he said is old news. So like, if it was to amount to anything, what really is it gonna, what really does it say? Because you already are in the bed with him. You can't back out of something if it's already common knowledge from when you were already, from when you got into bed with him. It was already known, so there's no point in backing out of it.
Yeah, so let me say this. For years, people have been talking about Diddy, right?
Yeah.
For years, people have been talking about Diddy. If we were to put like since you're saying that these are well known facts, this is nothing new in terms of people been talking about it. Then if what you're saying is true, Diddy wouldn't have been getting these charges brought to him
Yeah, but how long have people been talking about P Diddy trafficking
for
humans?
years, for years, for years. There's interviews of like bodyguards to people who are in the industry. Diddy has done people dirty, like, and that has been talked about. You know what I mean? And people have been coming out the woodwork. It's just now the only reason why he's getting charged now is because what started the whole charging process was the first cases that came out of New York with Cassie, some other girls that I don't know their names off the top of my head.
Well, I feel like that's something
And
you
then
could like.
and then came the raid. So like the
Yeah,
fact that once those cases went to court, that's when shit went bad for Diddy because we haven't heard anything since because the way that the FBI works and all that they take their time.
yeah, Tommy.
Um,
Twitter has been a thing for like 9 years now. This is old news. This is Drake like the past 6 years where they've been bringing up that he's had been keeping young girls around him. It's nothing new. The difference is with Diddy and Drake is that you could easily prove that Diddy was trafficking humans. That's like something you could just look into and pull it up. Like you follow his circle around enough, you could see that type of energy. You're not gonna follow Drake around and see that he's sleeping with underage girls unless a bunch do like with Bill Cosby.
yeah.
They go out and they come out and say, well, this happened with me. No one has ever come out and said, that's once again, that's the difference between Bill Cosby and Michael Jackson. No one has ever came out and said that Michael Jackson did that with those children, because all of those children always said that no, that never happened. What are you talking about? I never experienced that type of thing around Michael Jackson. Whereas with Bill Cosby, a single girl came out and said, yeah, he roofied me. And then 20 more came out and was like, yeah, he did that. That's why they locked Bill Cosby up. So in the same vein as that, Drake, no one has ever came out and confirmed that Drake is sleeping with underage girls. Yes, he might keep some around him in his circle, but that doesn't amount to anything at the end of the day, because you can't prove that he did anything with them unless they say it from their own mouths.
I mean, what I can say, because I know what you're saying, I agree with you to an extent. Because unless someone comes forward with actual going to court cases, you know what I mean, like actually bringing up cases to them.
Yeah.
I don't think you're right. It's not going to do much, and which is why I say the only thing that Drake has to lose is his endorsements.
Yeah.
Like if it gets to that point.
I mean,
if it gets to
in that same vein, you could look at like how Rick Ross lost all his endorsements, but that's different because Rick Ross told on himself.
He had a bar. He had a bar.
Told on himself, and
what was that?
Don't even know it.
You don't know it? Yeah, I put a Molly in her drink. She ain't know it. I took her home. Sorry, I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
I should have laughed about it.
Right.
But yeah, I know the bar.
Yeah. That's self-discriminating. Drake has never came out and been like, yeah, I'm touching underage girls. Like, he's not gonna say no stupid mess like that.
He's too smart. If he's doing that, he's too smart to do it. If he's not, then there's no reason to.
Right.
Now, I only bring that piece of it up because that would be the one thing that would derail his career. Anything else, as 100%. Far as anything else as far as his insecurities, anything else about how where he fits into the rap game, any of that doesn't really going to affect his career.
Yeah.
On the Kendrick side of things, people might look at him sideways for beating his wife if that's true, but unless his wife or what was once going to be his wife takes him to court for it or something,
are they maybe not together anymore?
He said baby mom, so no. And I don't know if maybe he pays child support. You know what I mean? So I don't see anything else coming out from that either. You know, because I'm just looking at it from a legal standpoint. You know what I mean? Because
realistically, it is just the bars. All this is just bars. It can't really go anywhere. So like, neither one of them really has anything to lose. That's why I said like the only people who are losing out are the people who were supposedly Drake's friends. Whether you talking about the rappers or you're talking about the people that are in his circle, they're the only people that lose out in this whole thing. Cause like at the end of the day, Drake and Kendrick Lamar can say whatever they want. It's just bars. They don't have to interact with each other. Everybody else that are in this beef that are including themselves, they're losing out on either interacting with Drake and everybody in Drake's circle, or interacting with Kendrick and everybody in Kendrick's circle.
Yeah, like I'll like what you just said right now, because when I look on like all the features, all the collabs in music that like were classics, like I think about when I think about Ross, I think about some of the classic collabs that they've had, including Aston Martin Music featuring Drake, including I know there's other songs, but that's one of my favorites from them. Like we're never gonna get that.
Right,
with
like my favorite Rick Ross songs are ones with Drake on it. Like, come on, Rick Ross, like you really throwing here.
Yeah, wait. Tommy's saying, but the turncoats now lost money.
Yeah,
who are the turncoats?
The turncoats, the people who are giving Kendrick the information, the people who leaked the original part of what's his face. Push-ups, because push-ups got leaked, and Screwface was saying that he heard when he was doing his reaction to Not Euphoria. Is it Euphoria? One of the songs he was reacting to one of the songs. Kendrick mentions like, yeah, bro, they leaked your song, and he was like, yeah, that makes sense. We slid past that. No one actually thought about why was that song leaked. We just thought Drake did it. But at the end of the day, if you think about everything Kendrick's saying, you got people in your circle who are against you. They leaked that song so Kendrick could go back and use what you were saying against you before you even put out your diss track.
I have two points to bring up. So, I almost mentioned the first one right now because it's fresh. The fact that I think we passed over it, or a lot of people did, because there was so much in here. There's so much to unpack.
Yeah.
Like, and that the thread of everything that is important information, but it is getting overshadowed by all the other stuff that's in here,
Right.
and that's being unpacked, especially with Kendrick's diss tracks or tracks in general. You have to re-listen to it. You have to. Some people, the way I do it in terms of artists look at it, I look at the verse and I break down the bars bar for bar. Some people do a line for line. Some people do it word for word, because it, depending on the artist, it could be as Kendrick is probably one of the most intricate lyricists that we know today. You know, he's not someone who's gonna give it to you at face value. You really have to
dig
deep underneath everything to fully understand it, because even some bars have multiple meanings, and it's just like
he got some quadruple entendres in there. Like, you really gotta dig deep. The wordplay is crazy in these diss tracks.
It's literally like an onion. It's literally a fucking onion. You have to really peel back the layers of the onion. And it's so having to really look, seeing that it did get overshadowed is not surprising. At the same time, Pusha T mentioned that on his diss track, like that. I was gonna say that's not really brand new. Like, people have been, since Pusha T was dissing Drake a couple of years back. He mentioned that he had, how else will he know that he had a son? Because of that, he showed the world that he had a son.
Right, he had no choice there. Yeah, Nicola. Like, realistically, we're eating good. The community is eating well, but like,
yeah, hip hop is lacking one right now.
Yeah, outside of like eating good, it's kind of getting kind of hectic now. Like, these two third diss tracks is like pushing it, is really pushing the both of their third diss tracks are like really deep cutting type energy. And like, I don't know if you got the stream pulled up, but
I got the stream pulled up.
You
want me to read what's on screen?
Meet the Grams. This was in one of the comments of the Meet the Grams. Dude was like, I'm shocked, bro. All of this is getting while somebody is gonna get hurt for real. And this is like going back to what I was saying yesterday. Like, it's all fun and games, but like, you look at it, it's getting pretty hectic from what they're saying. Like, they were saying some pretty deep stuff in the second diss tracks. Both of their second diss tracks were both pretty like deep, but like the third ones are crazy. Like,
Drake only has two.
Right, he has three. The second one got taken down.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. You're absolutely right. Taylor made. The only reason why I say that, well, yesterday, what time was the stream when I hopped on? It was like 1 or something.
Probably like 1 to 3, somewhere around there.
The funny part is, by the time we were talking about it, we didn't even know that, because I got blindsided when I saw who was wait, did we talk yesterday or the day before yesterday?
That was yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Okay. Yeah, I got blindsided by the fact that they dropped yesterday. Because we were
Yeah,
just talking
1 in
about
the morning.
Victoria
Like
and football.
literally,
Yeah.
who drops a diss track at 1 in the morning? That's
Well,
crazy.
yeah, no, I was beyond. It was beyond me when I saw that shit. I was like, oh shit. We were just literally talking about this, and
Yeah,
ha- I, I mean, of course, it was for the moment, but besides the point, um, coming back to today and having digested both tracks, um, yeah, we said that wasn't going to go there, but I can tension's rising for sure. Like it's on both sides. Like if you're Kendrick, you're like, why are you talking about how, like why are you bringing up my girl? Why, you know what I mean? Like all that shit on Kendrick's side. He's not only is he looking at Kendrick, but he's looking at his camp. I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know who took, how Drake got that information. To be fair, so there might be a mole on Kendrick's side too,
yeah. The
or
bringing up
eh,
like
or, or my guess is that he knows someone in the industry that is well aware of Kendrick's situation. Because it's like, because even though the public don't know, it doesn't occur to me. It wouldn't be surprising that uh he might have told maybe one or two people. I think alluded to him living in New York and
mm-hmm,
how uh if I'm not mistaken, in the video, Drake had two cakes. One of a divorce cake, and I forget what the other one said, but it was basically for him saying happy divorce type of
mm-hmm,
thing.
mm-hmm.
So like I find that interesting that he got that information. And with how many people know about that, no one can say. The fact that Kendrick is not much, like he's not so much in the public eye. Yeah, like
Kendrick has to look over his
it's
shoulder too. He telling Drake, "Look
it's
over
hard.
your shoulder." Kendrick need to be watching his back too.
I think Kendrick even more though, because now I think about it, at least Drake knows where to look. Where does Kendrick look?
Right.
Like unless Kendrick only told specific people, but then again, Drake is known for getting information from the women.
Yeah.
So whether he has spoken to his baby moms, whether he has spoken to someone that knows his baby moms, that could be a source. It's just really hard to tell with that one because he's no longer with TDE. TDE does support him still, but he's no longer with that label. He's independent now, right? Who is he with? Um,
I'm not
hold on.
sure.
Let me. Kendrick Lamar is who distributed? Who's the distributor on this?
And yeah, Tommy, it's kind of unhealthy for the industry. Like, and I feel like Pusha T started the
Healthy in the way.
whole
It's only
bringing out
unhealthy in the future.
skeletons from the closet. Well, that too, yeah, but like pulling the skeletons out the closet, like that's gonna just have to be the new meta for diss tracks. Like usually it's just about like the bar game. You talk about the other rapper, but now it's like
It,
it's
it
just
was also
the
a threat.
meta to
It
talk
was also
about the kids. Like you talk about the kids, you talk about the parents, you talk about the baby mamas. Like it's just like what they have to do now at this point, because if anybody else after this ends makes a diss track, they're gonna go back and look at these diss tracks and compare it to what you make now. And like if you're
no.
not making,
I think it was worse.
because like
Like
at this point we
look at
still, yeah, go ahead.
my bad. I was gonna bring up the fact that I don't think it could be worse. Like look at how it once was. We lost two legends because of this track.
Yeah, this
Like
exact same thing. This
no,
exact same
I
thing is
think it's
like,
not as bad because Tupac got shot up first before the disses started.
oh well,
I think
yeah.
it was worse. Like it was to the point where they were it began with threats. It
Like
didn't
they
begin,
were just, yeah,
they,
they were just, they hated each other. They legit hated each
no,
other to the deep. But like,
no,
I feel
it
like,
wasn't hate. I'm gonna refresh a little bit people's memory if people don't remember.
I feel like
It,
Tupac and Biggie hated each other so much. The way
it
they dissed each other
was
so
more
hard.
Tupac and Biggie. It was more Tupac and Biggie in the beginning, because there's interviews and there's stories that Biggie didn't know what was going on, because
Mm-hmm.
Tupac went there on to work with them
Yeah,
at their studio,
yeah.
and by the time um uh Diddy and Biggie knew that Tupac got shot, it was already done. Like that when and story goes is that Tupac ended up going up to the studio while he waited for paramedics to arrive, and he didn't know who to trust.
You're
And
right.
I don't think the hatred on Biggie's side didn't start until Hit 'Em Up came out, because
Mm-hmm.
Hit 'Em Up started with "fuck the click" and "the bitch you claim." Like the beginning right away was,
Mm-hmm. Off the rip.
Tupac hit. Yeah, like it be that's on the other side. It started off after that.
Like
With
Tommy just said though, like
it,
Tommy just said, it's going to lead up to that. Cause even then, you gotta look at it this way. We live in the age of social media.
yeah, we live in a
Back
more
then,
like
yeah, back then, no
I,
one,
yeah.
you got it when you got it. Now it's instantaneous. And then, like, you look at Kendrick's fan base, you look at Drake's fan base, they're like super toxic right now.
No, you're right. Like
And you
we're
never know what somebody could do. Somebody could take this personally and go out and do some heinous stuff for their
yeah,
favorite
we don't want
rapper.
that.
Right? You like never know what can happen in this day and age because people will go out into the streets and shoot somebody in the face over something that happened online. Like you never know. I feel like it's so much worse right now because like the you literally got that there's not even a full documentary of that situation. Like it's
Well,
hand fed
the
to
whole
us.
story is here and there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hand fed to us. No one has like actual proof of what happened in that time frame. But right now in this day and age, like it's just instantaneous. Everybody knows about it. Everybody's talking about it. And the people, everybody just take it into their own hands nowadays. They look at it and they're like,
and
well, I can solve this problem.
well, one thing's for sure. It's getting to that point. Like I do agree that it's getting to that point. It wasn't there like this is the first beef we've seen gradually get to that point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because a lot of beefs do start off with threats.
Yeah.
Going like I'm gonna spin the block on you all, like it's all crazy. And the whole week I have been hearing people saying that, oh, these disses were light. This is prior to yesterday.
Yeah.
These are statements before yesterday's drops. Okay, people were saying that it's not these are weak bars. They didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
And we talked about this yesterday that it was okay, and then but the thing is, people did want, as far as what people look for in a diss track, people were saying it's not as disrespectful. And
Right.
I think if it wasn't there yet yesterday, then it's getting I can see
The build up.
like yeah, like anybody calling someone out for being a pedo, unless you know for a fact that's the case, some people will take big offense to that. I will knock you the fuck out. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then there's the case with Drake saying that, you beat your wife, what have you. On Kendrick's side, and he probably want to take flight for saying why he's saying that. You mentioned because whether or not they're still together or not or whatever, people were saying that his baby mama unfollowed him on social media, which to me is whatever. I can see them having a taking a break. I can see her not wanting to deal with what's going on with his being.
Right.
A lot of things can be going on in terms of what that meant to their status right now. You know what I mean? What those bars meant. Um, and so I can see both sides getting heated over what the person said. Uh, well, I guess I'll say this much. I don't want it to go any further in terms of rap. It should just stay rap. If they don't want to work with each other, they haven't worked with each other for over 10 years, so that's nothing new.
True.
As far as everyone else in the industry, we're not going to see another. We're not going to see another collab between him and Ross. We're not going to see the fact that Kendrick mentioned this, and it's funny. The fact that Drake and Kanye got together for that one concert in the last couple of years was kind of funny. They're no longer cool again. Um, which I don't. I begs the question: were they even good back then? You know what I mean? In terms of when Jay Prince told them, to squash the beef, did they really squash the beef? And I don't think they
Mm-hmm.
did.
Right.
Um, and with Future, it will never be another collab with them. Um, Drake's gonna have trust issues not only with them but with his own camp. Um, Kendrick, I guess, is able to still work with people. It's not like he that's he we recently we've only seen him on features, right? I don't think we've ever actually had his last album was a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Like I
Like,
mean, even then, like most of Drake's enemies, rivals, competitors right now are like very in the scene because he's rapping about them in his raps. But there are plenty of people on Drake's side who's coming at Kendrick. Like I said about Cameron, he's also on Drake's side. Like, yeah, bro, you drop a 6-minute diss track when you have a 12-minute diss track. Like, there's other people out there who are also going up against Kendrick, but like Kendrick don't care. They're not dropping no
yeah,
diss track towards Kendrick, so why should he even care about what they talking about? But at the end of the
I
day, these
mean,
are people who, like, once again, he's not going to interact with these people anymore after today.
yeah. I mean, one thing for sure, it's not like and this isn't known. Kendrick has been taking shots at the industry for a long time.
But yeah,
So,
for a long time.
like you're so him collaborating with the people that he's gone at, it doesn't matter. Like he's already made clear to the industry that I'm good on the feature and I'm good by myself. Either way doesn't fucking matter. I'm gonna still spit. I'm gonna still give
Right.
you these bars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I regardless of what your opinion is on the beef, you can't help but respect that. Um, in terms of how that'll affect his career going forward. I mentioned this yesterday. I don't think it's gonna change much because he has all his accolades. He has a Grammy. I don't know how many Grammys he has, but I know he has a Grammy.
Yeah, they both
He
have.
has classic albums.
Yeah, they both have everything they've ever needed or wanted. So, like, at the end of the
I don't
day,
think
it doesn't
I
really
don't think
matter.
it, I don't think it matters to Kendrick this much, but he doesn't have the global like
Platforming,
popularity as much
yeah.
as Drake.
Like, yeah, like
Like
you
that's
said,
one
that's
thing.
not really something he's worried about, though.
But the one thing that Drake wants that he doesn't have is the notoriety of the hip hop community.
Yeah.
That's what he doesn't have, but he doesn't want that.
But, like,
I think those are the two differences.
Drake wants that, but, like, realistically, he's had it. It's just the fact that, like, people don't respect him as much as he wants them to, but, like, that's not gonna
No.
change.
He cares too much. He
Yeah,
cares too much.
that's not gonna change at the end of the day. Like, he doesn't lose nothing out here by trying to make himself look bigger by going up against Kendrick. Because even if he does, at the end of the day, beat Kendrick, it wouldn't change the opinion of the people who don't like him already.
No, yeah. I mean, one thing's for sure. You're right. Like whether if he didn't have if he doesn't have it now, he at one point Drake did have notoriety amongst the hip hop community.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that has been a struggle for him that I can go back on interviews on is notoriety amongst the hip hop peers, including Common, including uh, DMX, including
Kendrick made that reference to DMX hates. Well, he hated Drake so bad. He really hated Drake. And
I mean, I don't think it really matters too much. Like I'm a DMX fan. I don't think that should have mattered too much. It only matters to Drake because that's someone he idolizes,
yeah,
and I don't blame him because if 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 I was in his position in terms of rap, if and I had someone tell me that um if someone I idolized told me that, hey, I hate everything about you, then to because he actually reached out for a feature or to get a sample clear,
yeah,
and so and DMX didn't. It was two different interviews on the Breakfast Club that they asked him that question and he responded the same way.
yeah.
And so and there's a recent interview, like I'm trying to remember, with uh an OG in the rap game who's respected in New York, um basically saying that Drake makes good shopping music. I forgot who it was. Hold on, Drake. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Makes good shopping music. It was. Oh, it was Most Def.
Mm,
Most
mm.
Def had most 3 months ago. Most Def had an interview, and basically someone mentioned and asked him, "Is Drake hip hop to you?" And he said, "Not really." And that's coming from Most Def. Most Def isn't someone who is a known hater. You know what I mean? And you kind of have to take that for something like, okay, this is someone who is hip hop. Like he's not mainstream,
I mean,
and
most
he
Def's a
he
producer. That's the crazy part about it. Like, he's not even a realistic artist. Like, he made music, but like, he's a producer. For a
but
producer
he
to be
maybe
like, yeah, I mean, yeah, he was a rapper producer like Kanye, but like, he wasn't like known for his rap. He's known for producing.
I was just say this much: Most Def is someone who has cred, like in the hip hop community.
Yeah,
Like so him saying that to me speaks loud, its volumes to that. Um,
the way I see it is like
Now
most of the people that hate on Drake is always the same points at the end of the day. Like, Drake is consistent. Drake keeps he's in his tenure, but his tenure is so well put together. He's always doing, and he's always trying to stay above the next thing, trying to keep up with the next big thing. Whereas everybody else, your favorite rapper is no longer making music. And that's why people hate Drake as much as they do, because Drake is very advanced at what he does. He's going out of his way to remain popular no matter what it takes,
I
and
don't
people
think that
don't like that.
I don't think that was even Most Def's angle though, because it wasn't like he went out of his way to mention it. They asked him about how he feels about Drake, if Drake is even hip hop,
Yeah, but
and that was his response to it.
nobody ever has like a real reason on why though. They always just say,
He,
"Oh, well, Drake, he's white. He don't belong in here," and they don't never have
I
like a realistic reasoning on why Drake isn't hip hop. Why Drake isn't
Why is that such a
doesn't
bad thing to say though?
huh?
Like, if Drake is all these things, right? If Drake is a popular artist, like I said yesterday, there's nothing to take away from that.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. If because yeah, when you look at his discography, he has music that goes full circle. in terms of okay, he has music for a
multi
little bit of everybody,
multi-platinum.
right?
Yeah.
So what if some of his people say that some of the people that he looked up to coming up say that he's not really hip hop? Like, I don't think as much of a hating aspect as much as observation.
But those people
I guess
opinion that matters. Like me personally, I would, these are the legends of the
it only
game.
it, it, it
Why
only
would you
it,
not?
it only it only matters to Drake because he wants that notoriety.
Yes.
But it's not like it hurts him because realistically, what does that really hurt his career?
No.
Like,
But
he's successful, he has money.
like you said yesterday though, everyone always says that like Drake's pressed about the money, pressed about being popular, but like if you're saying that 1 minute, then the next minute you're like, oh well, he's pressed about the old heads respecting him. It's kind of contradictory because yes, he wants these old heads to look at him the way they look at people like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Wale, insert Lupe Fiasco, insert name. No one looks at him the way they look at them. They always say that, oh, Drake's not a real rapper. He's a singer. He's a dancer. And they don't respect him for what he's trying to accomplish in his career. So I see why he would look at it the way he looks at it, because these are people I want to respect me. So I go out of my way to try to earn their respect. Like I've been saying, Drake had no reason to respond to Kendrick Lamar. He hadn't for years. It's just been sly tip sneak dissing that they've been doing with each other for years. But all of a sudden he's dropping multiple diss tracks against one of the biggest, best rappers in the game. Why else would he do that?
You're right for that one. I mean, it's occurred to me that you can't. It's one thing if it was the same people saying the same shit, when it's multiple people, multiple different people. Because this is the first time that we've heard Mos Def in an interview even have that question brought to him, right? And it's not like Mos Def is affiliated with the people that hate him. At least not that we're aware of.
Right.
I only say that because when it comes down to how do you how does one prove something, and like, okay, so I'm gonna go back to, I forgot how the saying goes, but with the meaning of a hypothesis is being able to prove making the same test over and over again and getting the same results.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how you prove a hypothesis.
Right.
So like, if multiple people are coming to the same conclusion, like DMX might have said it one way, but Mos Def said it a different way, but they both came to the same conclusion. Then it almost sparks up like, okay, maybe there's some truth to it.
I mean, but it's just cool to hate Drake though. Like, it's just been cool to hate Drake for like the past 9 years.
I feel like what you're saying is true in the sense of what's going on right now. Because he said that before the beef. That interview was 3 months ago.
I mean, the DMX interview was like 4 years ago, though.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. All I'm saying is, in terms of when you say it's cool to do it now, I feel like it has a lot to do with I think people have been throwing this around that Future and Metro Boomin are gathering people up like the Avengers type of deal.
Yeah.
Which is a kind of funny way of looking at it, because he's right. The fact that these two had to get all these haters. Hold on.
I was gonna pull up the RDC World video. We'll probably watch that.
Give me one moment. Give me one moment.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put myself on mute real quick. All right, keep them entertained real quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's been like 10 years ever since Drake started rapping. It's always been the thing to hate Drake. It's never been nobody ever just been like, yeah, well, Drake's the rap guy. And even now, like, look at it in the same vein as it's cool to hate Eminem for being a black rapper. Only difference is there is people who go to bat for Eminem because Eminem is one of the best rappers to ever put pen to paper. Drake is not the same way. Drake is not one of the best rappers to ever put pen to paper, but he is consistent in what he does.
Consistent in the dark. Sorry, I forgot to let you know I'm back.
Yeah.
No, I listened to what you had said. Like, yeah, he has a lot of dope tracks. He drops every year, at least once. He's on a lot of features. He has co-signed a lot of artists. He's known globally. He's done multiple different styles of genres.
Oh yeah, and back to what I said at the start. Yeah. It's God's Plan. The Drake song God's Plan. You know that song, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
Okay, so in the video,
I know that song, but yeah, I know.
In the video, the video was just blatantly about him getting $1 million to make said video, but he used the $1 million to give to people. He gave out $1 million to the community, and then
I don't think the argument is whether he's giving back or how good music he puts out.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you there. I will say this much. In terms of his the music that I like from him, I'm not a big fan of the God. I think it's only because of the beat. I'm not a big fan of the beat. The beat's cool.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't really a big fan of God's Plan. It's not really the best song. It's just more or less the meaning behind the video.
What I can say is that it's very catchy. It's very catchy because even I'm here like doing the jingle like.
I think he's talking about Eminem, Tommy, not Drake.
Eminem, like when you look at even Eminem with his beats, like because people have gone at him like Benzino. Benzino is relevant because recently Benzino dissed Eminem, and then Eminem came back outside to just back on at him, and it's funny. I found that funny because a lot of because Eminem already took care of him years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When he was still in the game, when he was still doing it. And so the beef with that was Benzino, who was an owner of The Source. The Source was a hip-hop magazine that was well-known, well-respected in the hip-hop game. I don't think it's around anymore, but the Source in their magazine, they had a section in there where they would rate the new hip hop releases, and they would rate them 1 through 5 mics instead of 1 through 5 stars. They would rate them 1 through 5 mics, right?
Okay.
And so Benzino made sure that Eminem never got 5 mics, never got 5 stars in The Source. And so that's where the beef came around because Benzino feels like he never deserved it because he's not that good or
he's not that guy.
Yes, I only bring that up because we're talking about something similar, right? And so, like, I can't think of anyone else who ever, besides, there's this other guy in the hip hop scene who said that he can't be top 10 or top 5. Eminem can be top 10, top 5 because he's white, which I think is dumb.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
To me, that's dumb. I'm like, dude, who gives a fuck what his skin color is? He can rap. If that's your angle as to why he just doesn't deserve to be top 5, that's a dumb excuse.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was the same thing with Benzino. I don't know if it had anything to do with anything else. But from what I understand, that's where that stood out. With Drake, I think there's more to that because Ross recently talked about how he's biracial, which is dumb. I'm like, okay, whatever, gives a fuck. Um, but the one thing that I can see as why Kendrick would use it as an angle, because he did mention on Euphoria, was like how many black features do you feel black enough? I don't think that was so much of a jab as to, oh, you don't deserve to be a rapper because you're biracial. I think it was more so getting at his insecurities,
Mm-hmm.
because Rock mentioned this, and there have been photos that show that uh, Drake might have gotten a nose job to make his nose more skinnier.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I can see why you would say that, for Ross, but at the same time, a lot of people are not happy with their nose. I knew this white girl in high school who got a nose job because she didn't like the way her nose looked. Like,
Right.
I don't think it has much to do with his insecurity of him being biracial, but I can see the reach, right?
Right.
Um, with him being, like, with people saying that he's not hip hop, I think it more so goes to um how because I don't feel like what doesn't make him hip hop is the choice of tracks, the choice of beats, right? I don't think it's so much that, because r- even Kendrick has done music with Taylor Swift. I forgot who else he mentioned. That he did a feature for. Maroon 5, I think, right? Is that who
Yeah.
Drake
Yeah. Yeah.
mentioned?
He said Maroon 5. Yeah.
Okay, so, like, you can. It doesn't matter what beat you're on. If you're keeping it you're rapping, right? I
Right.
to me, I think what disqualifies Drake as top five, what I mentioned earlier yesterday, was um the one, him stealing the verse. If he has stolen verses, then I wouldn't put it past him to use ghostwriters, and I mean multiple. And Kendrick has mentioned that on Euphoria, that you better keep Beans with you. Beans is I guess a ghostwriter on Drake's camp.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me is what disqualifies Drake as a top 10, top anything rapper. Because if you have to steal someone else's verse, that means that you're so insecure about your own skills you can't even write it. And I think that's where, maybe I don't know if Most Def knows about that. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's the fact that he had to pay um Rapid Forte for the use of copyright infringement is very telling.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look that up. So it's not like it's hearsay. How many ghostwriter he has, I don't know. Whether it's true that on every track he uses ghostwriters, that's debatable, because we're not in the studio with him. Now
Right.
the only way you're really gonna know is by the credits. Legally, if, like, say if I was making a track, right, and you're in the studio with me, and you write some bars for me, right? If you write some bars for me, I go in the booth, I spit them bars, and then I record it, and then I'm about to release it. For you to get money, for you to get royalties, your name would have to be in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been in the past with Eminem people trying to say that, oh, there's a writer on here, he didn't write his verse, when, sorry, where I think it was multiple people on the song. It wasn't just him. I don't know if it was. I could be wrong. It might not be Eminem, but I remember someone doing that to an artist and saying that. But basically, my point. That's the only way you're really gonna know,
Tommy
is
just
that
said
if
that you could sign it over beforehand.
yeah, you can. I mean, if it's a reference song, like recently, do you guys know who JoJo Siwa is? She's been being talked about a lot the past couple weeks
I'm really
about
bad
how
with
she released
names.
this. No, yeah, yeah. If you look up JoJo Siwa, she's like, I guess she's a child star that used to be.
JoJo's, yeah, yeah, okay, JoJo Siwa, yeah, yeah, I know you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
She released a song and claimed it to have written herself, but it was a reference. It was a song that was given to her. It was originally meant for Miley Cyrus. It was recorded and it was produced by Timbaland originally, and it was recorded by not so well known artist that I can't think off the top of my head really, but and it was released. There's a music video on it,
I'm
and
guessing
it's
it's Karma. That's the song that came out
yeah,
this year.
yeah, Karma.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. In that case, um, there's an interview with the original artist that originally recorded it, saying that she doesn't know how JoJo got it. There could be an NDA involved where she's not legally allowed to say that JoJo got it from them, so to speak, because the legalities of it is really iffy.
Yeah, it
So
says
there
up
are
here
other ways.
that there's 3 writers on it.
Yeah, and so it's there's ways around not having to show someone on the credits, but most people who are smart would want their credit on a song,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're gonna want their money. They're gonna want their royalties
Get
every
the
time.
royalties.
Every time a song is played on the radio, every time a song is being used in advertising, anyone who ever worked on it gets cut. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
so and that goes to the part of what I was mentioning earlier is that um, to the extent of how much Drake relies on other people for his songs or for his writing in general is not enough. Is not like we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
What I can say, and I know for a fact, is that on his first initial mixtape that he dropped before Lil Wayne signed him, the Young
Mm-hmm.
Money, he did that on his own. I believe that he did that on his own. I don't think there was any writers on. And yeah, like it's not like he can't write. I don't believe that he can't write, but when with again with the stealing of the verse, having writers on hand, it does partly disqualify you from you being in that conversation. Now I don't think it really matters totality wise. Like he's still a great artist. He'll go down as one of the greatest artists of all time. He has sold more records than Michael Jackson. Like he has accolades for how good of an artist he is.
Yeah, I think
And
like the difference
and
is in the top 5 rappers compared to being a top 5 artist. I don't think no one has ever just been like, yeah, Drake a top 5 rapper. Like, if you're going artist wise, you have to look at the accolades over
yeah,
their rap
ability.
itself. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I said, it's widely known for his whole career. Outside of like his first few mixtapes, he's had ghostwriters, but it's never mattered at the end of the day because he has the accolades to prove that he deserves to be in this community. Whereas his rapping part, you can be like, yeah, you can't call him one of the best rappers because you know he has ghostwriters. You know he's a biter.
yeah. And
You
what I
take away
can say,
from that.
and maybe in the next 10 years, that because a lot of hip hop has been drowned out, and I say that I only say that because rap in this day and age is rap is um it's I think we just went on 25 years of hip hop. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's 20. Yeah, I believe
I
so.
think it's 76.
Uh, no,
No,
because
no, 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 hip hop. Yeah, yeah.
last year they celebrated. I don't know if it was 50 or 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we the hip hop has been around for a while now. You know, I mean since the 80s and shit. And
I,
so um, hip hop has gone through multiple different stages of like from it being underground to it being commercialized to being watered down, whatever you want to call it.
I believe
And
I've
so I
been
think that
saying for years that like I blame Future for the state that the rap industry is in right now. Cause when Future came out, he was the first widely known mumble rapper. Half his songs you couldn't understand anything he said. And people looked at that and
well,
was like, that's the route I want to follow because I'm not having to actually say anything. I just have to go put it on a good beat.
came out first, Future or fucking Chief Keef?
I want to say Future. Did Chief Keef come out before Future?
Because Chief Keef was who I remember being the first mumble rapper. I could be wrong. But I think that was the case. Um, what
Chief
what I
Keef
can
is
say is that
2012.
because people want to be able to consume things as is to be able to enjoy it, right? I remember I have a friend a couple years ago. I was talking about how because I guess he was showing me a track or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But someone else like I don't and I my personal opinion I like my rap a certain way. I love them bars.
Yeah,
And
Future first released in 2011. Chief Keef first album is in 2012.
okay, that makes sense. Um, and so I remember telling him, oh, it's too basic for my liking.
Same.
And I told him why I didn't like it. He was like, well, and I think he took it as if I was trying to attack him when I wasn't trying to attack him for him liking the song or whatever. And he was, and I didn't mean it that way. But his point was, well, I like the way it sounds. I like how it's basically you can play it in the car, you can play it in the club,
Right.
it gets to it. It's
You're not
I don't know
listening
how
to
it's
the music for what they're saying. You're listening to the music
yeah
for how it
to enjoy it.
sounds. The beat
Yeah,
bloops.
yeah, exactly. And so and the thing is you can have both on the same track.
Yeah.
There are tracks out there that do both really well. Um, and so there's a lot of artists that do it pretty well. And there are artists that actually make music that that sounds really good in the club, separately from their conscious rap or whatever what you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I can even say that Drake is one of those people. Drake does have conscious rap. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Drake has shit for the club. He has a little bit for everyone.
Lil Wayne.
And yeah, well, yeah, definitely Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is notorious for having tracks all over the place. Like I think I mentioned this yesterday. I was going to tell you this. People have said that he doesn't write. After Jay-Z came out saying that he doesn't write, it was said people have said that after Lil Wayne heard
Jay-Z don't write. Yeah, he stopped writing. He
don't write no more.
He took everything that he had ever written and put it in the song 5,000 bars. He made a hour-long song of everything that he had ever written and never picked up a pen again.
I'm not gonna lie. Some of the features, specifically the Lil Wayne features on Drake's songs, have been immaculate, hands down. Have been so much theory. But I go back to my point that like I don't, regardless of, I think it's more so for him. I don't think it's gonna matter so much his fan base whether he's accepted by the hip hop community or not.
Yeah,
because he's always gonna have his fan base.
Right.
I think it matters. It's a personal thing.
It's all about him. He's in his own head. None of us Drake fans actually care at the end of the day. Like I've been saying, like it does not matter at the end of the day. You're gonna be a Drake fan irregardless, and at the end of the day, you're gonna be a Drake hater at the irregardless. Nothing that happens to this rap beef is gonna matter to either side, because you're gonna either hate Drake or you're gonna like Drake. There is no in between.
I'm gonna say this much. I love how you say you're either gonna be a Drake supporter or a Drake hater, and instead of saying you're either gonna be a Drake supporter or a Kendrick supporter. I like how you did that, but
Like everybody
I,
supports Kendrick.
I
Kendrick's a goat. Like you're not gonna hate Kendrick, but like people hate
people
Drake.
are no people are hating on. It's not getting twisted. People are hating on Drake people are hating on Drake for the simple fact that he took so long to drop his disc that he doesn't drop consistently like Drake. Like even as a Kendrick fan, I can see the point. Like remember I was saying yesterday, I was sitting there for weeks waiting for this track. I was saying like, you better fucking drop. You better
Everybody,
fucking give us something.
literally
Don't
everybody
leave us
was like,
hanging.
Kendrick, what
Don't
are you
make,
doing? Why are you taking so long? Yeah, Cypher, I know,
no,
I know you're a famous Drake hater, Cypher.
I was sitting here sweating bullets like Drake. Don't let him down, bro.
Don't let me
Don't
down,
leave us hanging
Kendrick.
like that.
Don't do me, don't do me like this, Kendrick. Making me look bad.
Exactly. I was gonna get sweat. I was tripping hella hard. When Monday came around,
Actually,
I dreamt of how happy I was like, let's fucking
actually
hear this shit.
sweating bullets out here, like, bro.
The thing is, I'm sitting here. Yeah, let's be real. I'm the one of those ones who was making excuses for Kendrick as to why he wasn't coming outside.
Mm-hmm.
And and the thing is, a little bit of what I was defending him on, maybe it's true. I don't know because of the simple only because of the simple fact that there's rumors circulating that Euphoria was 19 minutes and that he
Mm-hmm.
cut it down.
Right.
That that right there is one, like when we were saying, oh, give it time, he's cooking. That it my defense on that is only true because of that. If that is true, if the original Euphoria was 19 minutes, then what Kendrick fans like me were saying about let him cook, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now we will technically, I will never know. I can't confirm it, but that I'll because that it happened, we can stand by it. If he didn't come out with shit this week, we would still be saying that he ain't dropped his shit. We're fucking. It's whatever. Fuck it. Whatever. Drake won. It's all good. Let's. Like, and everyone else would be like, "Oh, he didn't do shit. He didn't do shit." Like we would be hearing that all week.
Right.
We would be hearing that all fucking week.
I mean, the whole issue was that you initiated this beef. So then
No,
to turn
I didn't
around.
do it. I didn't do. I didn't do. No, what are you talking about?
Kendrick initiated this beef. Kendrick initiated this beef.
No.
And
Hold
then
on.
he turned around and took a month to drop the diss track.
Blame me and all the Kendrick fans and Kendrick. I'll take it. Why not? Fuck it. Put us all on the blog and be like, you did this.
You did this. You started this 10 years ago. You started this. So to then turn around when somebody respond and then not drop for a long period of time, everybody was sweating bullets. Like, where's the music, Kendrick?
You know what's crazy to think about is that even with Lil Wayne still alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time Lil Wayne comes outside on stage with Drake, he always gives them props and tells everyone he's the greatest alive, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny that he's not in that conversation right now. And the only reason why it's not is because he's in Drake's corner, which makes sense.
Euphoria is kind of crazy. Cypher is
really they're battling for 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it, who is still alive today that's still making music? Nas is still making music.
I mean, most of the not most, but like a lot of the old heads are still making music, but you don't talk about them in the same circle.
This much. I was out last night while I was working. I was literally listening to a Nas and Ghostface track that released yesterday.
Mm.
And Nas was talking about how there can't be multiple kings.
Yeah, that's what J. Cole said.
And Ghostface was talking about how I don't know if it had anything to do with the beef, but he's saying why you got a beef with the dude. So I don't know if I don't know if they're alluding to what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it past them to do so. But there's a conversation to be had outside of who's popping right now, right? Because there's still old heads that are still coming outside to do this rap shit. And
Right.
Nas worked on an album with one of the newest producers. Like it's not like Nas is grabbing an old DJ from back in the day who he used to work with and making music again. He's making fresh, updated, modern rap with his style, and that's something to be looked at. You know what I mean? Like I said, that track that he dropped last night was fire. When I was working, I was slapping that shit.
Mm.
Besides the point, um, yeah. So there's a conversation to be had as far as who's really top five right now, regardless of like popularity with Drake and Kendrick, right? With them put together,
Right.
because even little Wayne is still going, right? Little Wayne ain't never gonna stop. Well, let's be honest, he ain't never
Yeah.
gonna retire.
Honestly, yeah.
And then there's the elephant in the room, Jay Z. Jay Z every now and again comes out with features. He might not come out with like the last song he came out was the story of Add It On. That was the last. I think that was the last official track that he released a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jay Z still comes outside every once in a while. So the conversation, to me, it's kind of blasphemous to say even them are top one and two when there's more people in that running. Now, that also goes back to what we were saying yesterday about are we talking about top five of hip hop or top five of popularity in terms of sales, selling out shows, stream numbers, all that shit.
Yeah.
And so that's a whole different conversation. Because then we're talking about Travis Scott. We're talking about who else is popping right now? Little Yachty, the Migos,
21
like
Savage. Fucking yeah.
Yeah, all them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even DJ Khaled, who is annoying as fuck. DJ Khaled is annoying as fuck. I'll say it. Like
100%. It's just a meme. He's an actual meme now.
He's a living meme. He is a living meme, and to me it's a joke that I forgot what he was sponsored by a weight loss program, and he hasn't lost weight. How is he supposed to be? How is he sponsored of something like it's false advertising? Like that's it. If your sponsor is a weight loss company, then maybe you should look a little healthier than you do now.
Honestly,
yeah, that's all I gotta say. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of sad. It's sad, really, because DJ Khaled can produce. It's not gonna twist it. I'm not even talking about DJ Khaled's producing ability. Like he was part of Terror Squad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fat Joe, Big Pun. Like he's produced some of the hardest tracks. He's been in the rooms with some of.
He's lost weight, but like he ain't losing all of it. He was really big back in the day. He kind of letting off some weight, but like it ain't like
going the shade, but not wrong. I mean, hey, all I'm saying is you're sponsored. Like, okay, for example, if I'm sponsored by what's a good example of that? Oh, if I'm sponsored by Coca-Cola and all people see me drinking is Pepsi. If I'm in an interview, I'm drinking Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on TV, doing hosting something and I have a Pepsi in my hand or have Pepsi merchandise on me, but I'm sponsored by Coca-Cola. Not only is that a slap to the face to the company that's sponsoring me, but what's the point of sponsoring you to begin with?
Right.
Like if a weight loss company is sponsoring you and you're not losing weight, then what kind of image does that show? What does that tell about the company that's sponsoring you?
I mean,
that's not, but that's not here or there.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
getting off
yeah.
topic.
Way off topic.
We're over here saying, well,
Super tangents.
I didn't come out here trying to fucking throw shit
Try
at
throw
fucking
shade at
Khaled.
DJ Khaled.
Hey, yo, these hands are ready for everybody. Fuck that.
Catching strays is crazy.
Oh, but besides the point, yeah, like I forgot why I brought up Khaled in the beginning, or what was even point of that. I hell lost track. Um, fuck.
You was
Hold
talking
on,
about
chat. Yeah.
the top five, putting the top five,
Oh,
and you said something about check out, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, like ha, ha, top five with just music in general. You know, there's a lot. There's a lot to be. There's something to be had.
Yeah.
And let's be honest with you, hip hop and rap is one of those braggadocious genres. You won't. It's hard not to hear a rap song and not hear a rapper bragging about something that they have, whether it be money, females, selling out shows, how much weed they smoke, how much, what kind, how,
the guns they got,
the kind of alcohol that they consume, which is what they're spending a lot of money on.
right?
How many ones they throw in the strip club? You know what I mean? Like, you name it, you can brag about it. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of that is about too.
Mm-hmm.
But what was I? I lost track. I feel
back
like
top five again. Back top five again.
So like the conversation of who's on top of hip hop right now.
Like realistically, yeah, Drake. You can say Drake isn't. It's okay to say Drake isn't in your top five. Everybody has their own opinion. Yeah. But the consensus is that Drake is a part of the big three. That doesn't consist of him being part of the big three of rap, but it's part of the big three because everything else he has, his accolades. No one stands on the same platform that Drake stands on in his accolades. Really, nobody stands on the same platform as Kendrick and J. Cole of their accolades. Everybody in the game now is either very inconsistent or they don't sell the way any of the three of them actually sell. Like I said yesterday, back to once again, One Piece, Bleach, Naruto. They're known as the big three because they were the best-selling mangas of that time. Period.
I almost feel like it was also the influence that those mangas had, because people would even argue Dragon Ball Z isn't the big three.
Well, Dragon Ball Z would be in its own bracket because it's not. It came out years Naruto before. Dragon Ball Z had already ended like maybe 5 or 6 years before any of those 3 series came out. Well, not One Piece, but like, yeah.
One Piece, Naruto, and Dragon Ball Z are all Shonen Jump, right?
Yeah, so is Bleach.
I think that's also why they put them all together, because they're all under the same umbrella.
Yeah, company. They were all running. The three Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece were running at the same time. At that time, they had been the biggest selling period. Dragon Ball had already ended by the time that those 3 series came out. So they claim those being the big 3. So that's where the phrase the big 3 comes from. So they're literally taking that phrase and putting it on top of anything. It doesn't matter what standing the topic is. We want to know what the big 3 is.
You know what's funny you say that? Because you're right. Because before it was who's top 5. Everyone was talking about top 10, who's top 5. It's not until recently that we have changed and adopted the top 3 moniker in hip hop. You're right. Again, I don't think top 3 has been used in that way in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, it's always been who's top 5, who's your top 5.
Yeah, top
You know,
5, top 10. No one has ever used the phrase big three for anything except those three manga. Yeah, Cypher. I mean, no one's disrespecting Dragon Ball. It's literally pop culture phenomena. It's literally
yeah, that's right.
moved
That's
the
right, Cyber.
bar.
Put some respect on Dragon Ball Z's name.
It's moved the bar.
R.I.P. Toriyama,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
RP Toriyama, 100%. Like no one's taking anything away from Dragon Ball Z, but it's not called Big Three because it's not from that era.
Can I ask you something off topic? Or is this around that timeline right now?
Yeah.
How do you? If someone were to tell you Pokemon is top 3 amongst anime, what would you say to that, and how do you feel about that? I don't agree with that statement, by the way. I thought about it and I thought it was interesting.
I don't know, like top 3, but like you give Pokemon its props. Like Pokemon.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like
Pokemon is on the same standing as Dragon Ball Z for me personally. Pokemon is the biggest franchise in the world. Period.
And I'll just say honorable mention Gundam Wing. Thank you.
Gundam, Pokemon, Digimon, Naruto, not Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh! All of the classic throwback animes, they are spoken of in their own category. But none of them have ever done what the big three has. Their numbers were off the charts compared to anything else that's ever sold in the past. They aren't the best series to ever exist because they all have their own flaws. One Piece, the meme is you gotta watch 500 episodes before it gets good. Bleach, it's constantly telling the same story over and over again. The ending of Naruto, one of the worst endings ever. But
in DBZ's problem is they say that the power scaling is messed up.
Yeah,
that's what I hear about.
Yeah, but these three mangas are known for being the big three, even with all their flaws. But they only say that because how much money they made when they were in their prime. So when people come around and be like, oh, well, what's the new big three? My Hero, Attack on Titan, yada yada blah blah, insert name here. You're talking out your ass. That means you literally know nothing about what you're talking about. None of these mangas are making the numbers that the big three made. There's a reason why they had that name. So for now, going back to the original point, when someone says the big three in rap, you don't look at it for their rapping ability. You have to look at the full picture of their accolades, everything they've had over their career. Just like we were talking about yesterday. All three of these people are in their tenure. They're in the middle of the old school and the new school, and they've gone over their whole careers being the biggest artists of their time frame. Period. No one stands on the same level that they have for as long as they have to this day. So
arguably they say Jay-Z, but you're right. Like when you compare Jay-Z to even Drake, I think Drake surpasses Jay-Z in that sense. Because I remember seeing I don't know if it was a short or a video on YouTube about they were basically saying the best album for each year in terms of number one on Billboard.
Mm-hmm.
And there were only a few times where Jay-Z was on there, and that was only because he was up against DMX, 50 Cent, Eminem, even Ja Rule at one point. Arguably, Drake has had the best tenure in terms of how many number ones he has.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I really think about it, he has been consistent on that Billboard.
Multi-platinums. back
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
back. So like,
So
yeah, you
that
look at
can't
it
be
like that.
ignored.
Yeah, you look at it like that. It's the same thing as in the manga community. You're not looking at it from the right mindset that you're supposed to be looking at it. That's the whole
I mean,
problem with this argument that everyone's having it, because you're looking at Drake as, oh, he can't be top 3 because his bars don't amount to other people in the rap game. That has nothing to do
well,
with the topic of the top big 3.
you're right. Totality and overall, in terms of what they bring to the table, you're right. In terms of anime, I think anime is more vague in terms of what makes either one of those in part of the big three.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it comes to anime, we're not just talking about the story; we're talking about the characters and each individual character story. Well, as for rap, we're talking about one person. It's easier to break down a person than to break down every single anime character in one anime. Like One Piece, for example, has too many characters. Like if you want to, like the way that he, I forgot his name, um, the writer of One Piece, he even up until recently, he's been going back and basically closing up and finishing up um, different references that were basically seeds that he was planting in the beginning of One Piece. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, I feel like animes are really hard to really dissect as much as one person, right? Because
Right.
the anime consists of multiple people, whereas if we're talking about just the rapper, it's just one person. Besides the point, you're right. Now, uh, as far as what's next for these two artists, it's gonna be. I hope they keep it rap in terms of it. No one should think it's okay to go after the other because they're a fan of the other, right?
Yeah, like personally,
And
yes, they'll keep it that way.
let these rappers rap. Let them throw out their disses and let us the audience enjoy and consume the entertainment for what it is. There's no
Yeah,
reason why. Like what we don't want to happen is for us to lose two legends like we did back in the '90s.
right.
That's what we don't want to happen. Because at the end of the day, that was that was a huge loss. When I look back on that, like Biggie was ahead of his time. So was Tupac, both in their own right. And to imagine if they were still around, what not only what they have done with their careers, because Tupac was not only a rapper, he was an artist in terms of not artist. He was an actor. He was a poet. And I can see Biggie. He was on his way to make his own record label.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was gonna leave Bad Boy before he passed away, before he got shot. And most likely he was gonna take a lot. Not only he was gonna take his masters with him, but he was gonna probably take some artists from Bad Boy with him too, which I don't
Mm-hmm.
think Puff was gonna like. I could just imagine the landscape it would have been if they would have stayed, right? If they would have still be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, them the thing is with the passing of those two legends, it left a vacuum. It left a vacuum. It left a spot. It left spots open. Like Jay-Z came out like in terms of right after Biggie passed away. Like
Mm-hmm.
you had other artists that gave way after Pac died. You know what I mean?
Right.
And and that's only because that competition was no longer there.
Yeah, and
Now,
then you look at it this
it,
way. Even with those old heads, they have passed down the torch. Lil Wayne passed down the torch to Drake. Jay Z passed down the torch to J Cole. I'm not
yeah,
sure who.
It was Snoop. Snoop was the
Okay,
one who
Snoop passed down the torch to
basically gave him the torch to Kendrick.
Kendrick. Yeah, like they're still
I didn't.
making music themselves, but like they have all openly been like, yes, this is my
successor. This is the new generation.
Yeah, this is my successor. This is the person that's taking on my legacy.
Crazy that you said that because I forgot that Jay Z was the one who first co-signed uh,
J. Cole, yeah.
J Cole to the industry, and that to me is astounding that each one of them had that passing of the torch from different people in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Wayne being Lil Wayne being from the South, Jay Z being from NY East Coast, Snoop Dogg being from the West. It's just really that's a really cool thing to look at. Um, I look back on what Dr. Dre did for Eminem, which in because that I always bring that up because I was just thinking about I wish we saw more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like people co-signing people from. I mean, Drake did honestly. If you, when I think about it, he did that um with rappers from the UK. He did that. He's doing that with drill rappers.
Yeah.
Um, whether you like it or not, he co-signed Sexy Red. Some people think it's a money ploy because Sexy Red is signed under the same label that Lucius Grange. I think is the guy who owns the label that Drake is underneath, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that because Lucas Grange owns a lot of music companies,
Mm-hmm.
so there's a lot of ties with that. Um, and so going forward, these guys are. If they know what's good for the culture, they just keep it rap. Like it doesn't. I don't. To me, I don't think it's necessary for them to throw threats to that degree because
Yeah, neither one of them
we
have
have
really made threats. That's not any route they taken in their bars. It's just been bar for bar, but like at this point it's getting really personal is the issue. They're taking it to a whole different level for instead of face value, they're digging in to pull out some really old skeletons that probably should have been left where they were laid at.
I see what you're saying. Like I know that Kendrick on his first diss record, he was talking about he said that he's snacking chains and burning tattoos and he's willing to crash out. I think that's the closest I've heard in a bar from this beef. That's like okay, like I'm threatening I'm a do something. You know what I mean,
I mean, besides
so like
like Drake just saying he got hitters. But he
oh
says
yeah
that to
that's it.
everybody.
Like,
He's quick to say like I have hitters. I have people that's willing to go to jail for me, and people who have gone to jail for him numbers of times.
yeah, I mean regardless, it shouldn't go further than that. Monday. I think Monday is when we're going to see the next wave of this. I say wave because
I don't think
from
no
yesterday.
earlier than Thursday. Honestly, I don't think any earlier than Thursday.
Oh, next Thursday?
Yeah,
You don't think so?
nah, I don't
I mean,
see either one of them dropping anything before Thursday. It seems like Monday is too fast. They gotta let these third diss tracks simmer a little bit. Monday seems like really early for them to drop another one and not let these fester in and people actually sit down and listen to the bars because people aren't actually sitting down listening to the bars. That's the main issue that's been going on. All these people are listening to it and not listening to the words and being like they're not saying anything. But if you sit down and listen to the things they're saying a whole lot in a few sentences, and they carry a lot of weight, and just people aren't hearing it. Yeah, right. People just aren't trying to hear it.
I mean, what I'll add on to what you just said. I don't think it's gonna come any sooner than Tuesday, in my opinion, because when I look at the time it took for Kendrick to drop the second part to to his to his to his lineup of disses after he because remember Euphoria, if everything is true that Euphoria was 19 minutes, then there is one more piece to the puzzle of those 19 minutes. There's
Yeah,
like a 3 minute track left. He
yeah.
has he has 3 minutes left because he had 6 minutes on Euphoria. He had 3 minutes on 616, and then he did another. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 minutes on Meet the Grams, but um if there is one more piece, then he's gonna because he has to respond to what Drake said yesterday. So
Mm-hmm.
if I were him, I would drop whatever's left of what I have so I can move on to writing some new shit or to releasing the new shit to my response.
Yeah, Euphoria is
And I think
six, and Meet the
so
Grams is
so
six.
so like if he took 3 days in between Euphoria and 616 in LA, between those two diss tracks that Kendrick released, it was 3 days apart or 2 days apart because he released Euphoria on Tuesday. On Thursday, he released 616, and I think the only reason why he released Meet the Grams yesterday was to show Drake, yo, I can drop right now.
Yeah,
I think what
616
you I,
is 3.5. Euphoria is 6.5, and Meet the Grams is 6.5. So he's up to
if you do the
15
math,
minutes now. Well, like
yeah,
almost
yeah.
16. Yeah.
So if 19 minutes is correct, then he has like 3.5 minutes or so left of what he originally had.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I don't think it's like I said I don't think they're gonna drop this weekend. They I think that just like you said they want to let it sit with people, but I think the earliest the earliest Kendrick is gonna release the last half of whatever he had originally would be Monday or Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we after that last piece, we should expect him to actually respond to the new stuff that um that Drake has been saying,
Mm-hmm.
including the allegations of him hitting his wife, the allegations of him sleeping, because he also Drake also mentioned that, hey, you're just like me, you're just as bad as me, you sleep around just as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's also something that Drake said.
Right.
So we haven't heard Kendrick respond to any of that because he's been wanting to drop all 19 minutes of whatever he originally had.
Right.
So with Drake, since remember we mentioned that the beginning half of the beginning half of Family Matters is the last piece
Part
of
of
push up.
push up. Yeah.
So whatever, and you're right, he probably did add on some new responses from to the end of that. But my guess is that majority of that was already done as well.
Yeah, he was
Now,
responding to
uh,
everything else, but he hadn't had time to respond to Meet the Grams and Euphoria. I mean, not Euphoria
I
and
mean,
616.
yeah. I think we're we're gonna see Drake respond. If I were a betting man, he's probably gonna want to respond faster than Kendrick. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna want to respond because with the allegations that Kendrick put out, I think he wants to stop that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and because Kendrick has 3 more minutes to drop from his last response, then he has that he if he's smart, he would drop that either Monday or Tuesday, so we can just drop any new response.
Mm-hmm.
But he can't he 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 can't he can't just with the with the rumors of it being 19 minutes. It'd be dumb not to finish off dropping the rest of the 3 minutes and just continue. And if he says fuck it, I'm just gonna
I mean, but
scrap
like,
what I
you gotta
originally.
look at it like he needs to still respond. If he's just dropping that and he's not saying anything or no response to what Drake already said, it doesn't really amount to anything. You're just saying words at that point if you're not actually going back and paraphrasing to what was already responded to you in the past two songs.
So let me tell you this then, because that's an interesting take. Someone mentioned this yesterday on a podcast that they that it's probably best for Drake not to respond and just to keep going at Jazz because, and this is what they said. I don't necessarily agree with this, but they're saying that he should have responded just keep jabbing at Kendrick the way that he was going to because he won't win that way,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that's necessarily true, but um, can you win a beef without referencing what they said? I guess is a better question because I really don't know. Most rap beefs that I am aware of, they always respond from what the other person said.
Right.
Even with rap battles, because I've seen a lot of rap battles where the thing is with rap battles, a lot of them, a lot of these battle rappers,
You gotta be on the
they
fly.
get
You write your
well,
stuff down
well,
beforehand, but then as you're rapping, you have to respond on the fly to what they're saying to you. Yeah.
well, uh, I'll answer what you said because you're right. It's a lot. A lot of these rap battle rap events are being promoted months in advance, which means that the battle rap companies already have their lineup and already have told these guys, hey, I'm putting you up against this guy, and that's when they do their homework and they write their bars for it, right?
Right.
So when it comes down to when it comes back down to the battle, you have to be a really versatile artist or rapper to be able to take away what you had originally wrote because you they memorize that shit. It's not like they're going up there with a piece of paper with what they wrote. They
Right.
memorize that shit, and so if you're skilled enough, you can say fuck what I wrote. I'm gonna come off the top of the dome and I'll tell you what's good. And I've seen a lot of rappers do that from like Disaster. I don't know if you know who Disaster is.
Yeah.
I've seen Daylight do it. I've seen um I've seen a lot of rap battle Immaculate. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of battle rappers do that off the cuff, and I'm just like, okay, I see like that. That's some real skill. It so yeah, I'll agree with you. Um, sometimes you if you're skilled enough, you can. Now I have seen battle rappers anticipate also what their opponents are going to say, so they might
That's in
have
the same vein as with
they
Drake. Yeah, you like you were saying
might
earlier, they just repeat the same thing that what the previous person said. So you already know they're gonna say that, so you write that down beforehand. You already got your countermeasures against that because you already anticipated that that's what they were gonna say because it's already known knowledge that people already frequently use against you.
yeah, I mean, one thing for sure, if you're a confident person and you know that you're gonna like, for example, if you're a battle rapper and you know if you know your weaknesses, then you don't even have to rely on what people have said up with about you in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you know that you have weak spots in your credibility, whether it be, oh, I'm not from the street, I'm not hood enough. Oh, my bars are all okay. These are the only angles that I do.
Mm-hmm.
What have you? You can list a gang of things that people can get at you if you know your weakness.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what people might pick at you, then that's also a way for you to anticipate what people might say in a battle. Now, um, with them going forward, it's gonna be interesting. For sure, it's gonna be interesting. After this is all over, the industry is gonna have a quick shakeup because you're right. We're not gonna see a bunch of features, collaborations, you name it. And I think there's gonna be a lot of vetting and NDAs going around in terms of when you work with these artists, you're gonna have to sign something.
You
You
know,
can't
it's
speak
crazy.
if you're
You know,
yeah
it's
if
crazy.
you're in the studio. Like that's what I would do if I was in Drake's shoes or Kendrick's shoes. If I have anybody near me or if I'm in the studio and I know that maybe my girl or my wife is coming by or my kid is coming by and I don't want people knowing about certain shit that I talked to them about, or what I don't want them knowing that I even have a kid or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or you know what I mean. You're gonna have to be smart about it. Either have NDAs or just keep your rap life and your family life separately as best as you can.
Right.
Because in this day and age, it's hard to hide anything with social media.
Right.
Like they're not only are there cameras everywhere, people have their phones. They're always quick to look for clout. Like you name it, it's not easy just to not be known. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I I hate to say it, but yeah, we're going through another change in hip hop. Good or bad, I don't know. I kind of see it as a bad thing because now even people who are not in this beef are gonna have to be put on the swivel. Like they're gonna be looking both sides as to who they're working with, whether it be the producer, the engineer, the security at the front door of the studio, whoever is around. Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Then like
And
it's funny
and,
that you were
and
saying
that's not
that.
even include.
It's funny that you were saying that because and I want to say his Family Matters Drake was saying that Kendrick was trying to get Kendrick's the one that got Taylor made taken down. He he
Yeah,
contacted
go ahead
the
because of the
Tupac estate and told them to take it down. Then Kendrick turned around and the last one, his last diss track, and was like, well, you tried to get Future song taken down. And I'm like, well, why though? Why do y'all think the other person did that? That looks really bad on them. I don't think that either one of them were the ones that tried to
I
get the
mean,
other one's diss track taken down. It's all looking really bad right now.
I could see how that could be a thing with Kendrick because he is he is close with the Tupac estate. Although it's not like I would. The only reason why I kind of disagree with that is because it's not like if Drake wasn't as known or if this beef wasn't as public, then and if it was just underground, if the songs were just released and no one barely few people know about it, then yeah, I can see why people would be quick to say that Kendrick had a lot to do with the Tupac estate getting that taken down. But
Mm-hmm.
because of how public it is right now, it's really easy for the Tupac estate to be in tune with the hip hop community.
Right.
And that's the only reason why I disagree with that. Now, Drake being I don't see why he would cease and desist that song, but it is known that Drake did put a cease and desist on a couple of songs, including a recent song that was going to come out this year with French Montana and Rick Ross.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is because of the Rick Ross beef.
Yeah, he mentioned that in the his last diss track too. I
It
think
was
it
it was
was.
it was called Splash Brothers. That was going to be the song that was going to be released.
Mm-hmm.
But it because of the beat. My guess, and that's what people are speculating, is because he ceased and desisted because it was because of Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And there's rumor going around that Drake is part ownership of Gamma, and Gamma owns a lot of music, including Gamma is an umbrella to a lot of labels, which is crazy. Ross is under that same umbrella. Snoop Dogg is under that same umbrella, which is why that's the tailor made song, which it used Snoop AI voice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting because that would explain why at the end of the day it didn't matter to Snoop because Snoop posted a quick story. I don't know if it was on Snapchat. I don't know if it was on what's that other platform? Fucking uh the one that's in that's the one that's almost getting banned or whatever.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, I don't know if it was TikTok. I don't know where it was. But Drake, Snoop Dogg did post a short video of his reaction to the AI voice of him,
Oh.
and his response was, "I don't know what people are hitting me up about," you know, like, and he gave a shrug. He didn't say much else about it,
Mm-hmm.
and so that tells me either he knew that this was coming, um, he probably didn't fully sign off on it because if, if imagine if Ken, imagine if imagine if fucking Drake, sorry, imagine if Drake was able to get the real Snoop Dogg on the track.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would have a whole different composition of that song.
Right.
Um, and also, I think the reason why he used AI Snoop rather than real Snoop is because I don't think Snoop would have signed off on it completely. I
No.
think he only signed off the AI version of himself being the voice of him at least is because it's not him really saying.
Right.
He's only given the okay on it because Death Row is under Gamma.
Mm-hmm.
So because he recently, I don't know if you know this, I don't know if anyone knows this right now. He recently acquired the he recently acquired Death Row Records. He bought
Mm-hmm.
he because Death Row Records, as a lot of people know, was owned by Suge Knight, uh, famously known for signing Tupac after he went to jail. Um, Dr. J was part of it. There's a lot of history there. Now, over the years after Tupac's death, Snoop and Dre leaving, um, it didn't. Death Row didn't do so well. Snoop was in and out of court cases, having to deal with other shit, and it ended up being sold. He ended up selling it to a third party. Where basically the company was being passed around,
Yeah.
right? And so Snoop Dogg recently acquired it. I think a year and a half ago.
Yeah, because he had to go back and buy all his rights back to all his music.
Yeah, he that was his main goal. He wanted his master.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted his masters because who because for a long ass time he never owned it.
Right.
Obviously, Shug was the one running it.
Right.
Now, um, now that he owns Death Row, like he recently also released a track with the Dog Pound. I don't know if anyone knows who the Dog Pound is, but they were
Yeah.
once a group with Snoop. Uh, he recently released a new song like a couple weeks ago. But my point being is that um, Death Row was under the umbrella of Gamma, and so I don't know how whether or not Drake is a part owner of Gamma, but if he is, then my if I there's rumors going around that if he is owner of Gamma, then that might be a big reason why a lot of artists are beefing with him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the not because a lot of it they say it's because of a few girls, and I wouldn't be surprised. That's not surprising.
Mm-hmm.
What would be surprising is if Drake is a part owner of Gamma, then he's making money off everyone in the industry right
Right.
now, including Ross.
Give him his royalties. Yeah. That's what he been saying this whole
And,
time.
and, and the thing is, out of all the people, Ross and Kanye are kind of suckers for even jumping in right now.
Yeah. They're.
Kanye had Kanye had his beef with Drake, and that didn't go nowhere.
You're
So
literally
shut up,
already.
shut up, and sit the fuck down.
Yeah, you're
Ross,
already in the bad eyes of the community. Kanye really just has to sit down somewhere. He's making himself look worse and worse every day. Like, come on, man.
oh yeah, like his verse on the remix was not good. Like he re-referenced. Oh wait, hold on. All right, yeah. Have a good night, Tommy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you good. You're gonna debut
Uh,
in 2 months,
no,
Syzmec.
I'm not debuting this month. Okay, you have a good night. Um, but as I was saying, Kanye, uh, he referenced the song Grills
Yeah,
with Nelly.
yeah.
Remember Nelly was all like,
Rob the jury store
uh,
until it make
tw-
me
uh,
gross. Yeah.
tw- I forgot the number. I don't know if he was talking about carrots or if he was talking about I think he was talking about carrots. But he was talking about the number up top and the number up bottom. That's a smile on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
line.
Yeah.
He was talking. He was talking about like his grills, right? Referring to that, basically, uh, referring to them as being, I a drink with ice in it, right? Like
Yeah.
ice. And so Kanye basically referenced that bar, but it was whack. He basically reused it, and he had titanium grills,
Mm.
and he delivered it whack. And I was like, dude, why did you even try? Like that was not a good bar. That was a mediocre reference to try to even make work, and that was the only thing I can remember from the verse.
Have
Besides
you?
at the beginning, besides at the beginning of the song of that remix of him saying, K dot, I got you," as if he was gonna do something.
He was going body.
As if he was gonna do something.
Have you
Like,
heard the babies like that freestyle?
he did a freestyle on it. I didn't know that. I didn't know
It
that.
is crazy. I don't know
I mean, I don't doubt it.
what the baby was on that day, but he went crazy on that. And then for Kanye to come back and then do a diss track on it, you looked really dumb.
Yeah, no, it, it shows that I think it was the Drink Champs interview. He was talking about how because he this was, I think, a couple years ago, like when they were gonna do, I don't know if it was after the Larry Hoover uh, concert that he did with Drake,
Hmm.
but because supposedly they patched things up. Supposedly they squashed the beef. Now he was talking to he was talking to Nori, who's the host of Drink Champs, and telling him that, dude, Drake helped me write a lot of my raps, and that Drake amounts to 20 guys in the room.
Hmm.
How true that is, I don't know. But the fact that I could, based on that remix, I could tell that if if he did help you with bars, I could see why. Because you don't, whatever skill you had in writing lyrics is gone. I miss the old Kanye, the graduation Kanye. Those bars were dope. This was sad. It was sad to see. Like, you should have put it out. You should have just stepped aside and watched from the sideline.
Once again,
Um,
J. Cole, when he made that song about Kanye, like, bro, you need to go back to the old Kanye. We all want to see the old Kanye. It's just stop at this point. Like,
he,
you making
himself
yourself look really
embraced the
bad.
artist. I can't think of another artist that has gone downhill with their scale like that.
Right.
Like, I know that over time your fan base might dwindle. I know that over time you might not, if you're not consistent, you won't be your work isn't as good as what you first came out with, whatever. But in his case, it shows. It really shows, and it sucks to see because that's sad. On a different note, yeah. So yeah, in Ross is only is take he sees an opportunity to be like, oh, there could be a chance that I can take Drake's spot. That's all he cares about. That's all. He wants more money. He sold his catalog, so he sees this opportunity as, oh, I can bag more money if, and even if he doesn't, um even if Drake doesn't lose his spot at the top, he's still going to be making money off this beef because he, like, people are interested in to see what people have to say. Whether his diss track might not be replayable as much as everyone else's right now, but it still got plays because of the beat.
Right.
And so there's that money, right? Um, and then there's the memes. And notice how when Ross posts anything online, he's always promoting the Bel Air or whatever sponsors that he has, whether it be because he also sold all of his Wingstop except for a couple locations.
Mm-hmm.
So he's promoting something every time he posts and talks about whether it be Drake or 50 Cent or whatever, and so that's just money. Um, Metro Boomin will still be making beats. He'll still be working with people. I don't think that it hurt him as much as it hurt Future.
No, not at all. Like
Like
Drake isn't like
the thing of,
somebody he frequently collabs with. Like he collabs with everybody. Like he's not losing anything in this really. Future, Rick Ross, Kanye, the people that are really taking the L's here.
The Dream isn't even taking it all that bad.
No,
if you think about it.
Yeah, he's
like,
he got called out, but like it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Like the people who are going to be getting away with maybe some scratches is going to be Metro, The Dream. Who else was going out? Oh, ASAP Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's another one. Like Drake really started that beef with them, if you think about it, because he's the one who took a shot at Rihanna on All the Dog, which is the reason why ASAP hopped on that track and said what he said. So like that beef technically was started by Drake because he was petty over ASAP being with Rihanna.
Mm-hmm.
So those three people are really going to be the only ones that, besides the two people involved right now, like trust issues aside, Kendrick and Drake are still going to be making music. Drake every year, Kendrick when he drops. Everyone else, they're taking an L big time.
Right.
I don't know what Future plans on doing. He might be able to still, because he runs Atlanta in terms of the music scene. Future runs Atlanta music scene. That's real.
He's still fine. He's still fine what he does, but like Drake said, he gives Future his best music.
And so
just like Rick Ross, he gives Rick Ross his best music. So they'll be fine with their regular fan base, but like they're not gonna get the plays that they were getting on the songs where they were with Drake.
Now that I think about that, I remember mentioning Khaled. He's another one who's losing. It's not needs these artists to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Think about every album Khaled has released recently. He includes Drake, he includes Ross, he includes Future.
Right.
I don't know if he's done work with Metro. I could be wrong, but like when it really comes down to it, what's he gonna do? Because I think he was working on an album this year with a lot of songs featuring Drake, and some of them were with Rick Ross. He can't. I don't know if he picked a side yet, but he's gonna have to, and he's gonna have to choose between working with Drake or working with everyone else, I guess. Because if he works with everyone else, he can't work with Drake. If he works with Drake, they might not want to work with him.
Right.
And so it's for him, it's a lose-lose either way. With it. That's and the way that Khaled works, he wants to stay relevant.
Right. Do you know the song "False Prophets"?
I know the song "False." Yeah, Ross went at Birdman.
J. Cole, Kanye West diss track "False Prophets." It's No,
wait. I'm talking about a different song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a song that Rick Ross dissed Birdman back when he owed Lil Wayne money. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, everybody was jumping on that train too.
When your idols turn to rivals.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't heard "False Prophets."
Yeah, it's J. Cole, pretty much his letter to Kanye, like, bro, go back to the old Kanye. You're really self-destructing. It's a song, I'll tell you that much. And Kanye took that to heart, and that's why he started like, "Yo, fuck J. Cole. I don't fuck with J. Cole." And like,
Yeah,
he's right.
it's,
Why are you mad? He's right.
that's the thing. He's mad that he's right. Think about his ego. Think about why he doesn't. He's going at Drake again. Like he he wants to be back in the scene. He's an attention seeker. Kanye needs like remember when he took the mic away from Taylor Swift and said that Beyonce
Yes, I should
deserved
have won.
this award.
Yeah.
Like it, it's not surprising that he hates these people because he he hates them because he's jealous of them.
Right.
When he had a good run in the beginning, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He just let his ego get the best of him. He thought he could do no wrong. At least that's what it seems like. I don't. I'm not in those circles. You know what I mean? I'm not in the room to know exactly what's going on. But what I can say is based on just what he's done in public, he's an attention seeker.
Yeah.
And he craves that attention.
100%.
Um, yeah, no, it's let's see. Well, if anything, what's gonna save was it's not even gonna save the beat. What's gonna save the industry is just seeing new artists come out
Right.
because new artists are gonna be able to fill the void of the new artists are gonna collab with each other, but it's gonna be difficult for us to see new collaborations with these artists and up and coming artists
Right.
because of this beat. Because knowing how people look at beef, people look at it as like, oh, you worked with this person, and I can't mess with you because
You can only
I'm
stand
a
on one
live.
side of the field. Yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks. It really does suck.
Yeah, that's what I
It
said. Like we eating real good right now, but no one's looking at the bigger picture. Everybody's like, yeah,
well,
this is the best thing ever, but like in the long run, is it really though?
I mean, I think it's only that though because of the trust issue. It, because we've had these before, like the knowledge in Jay Z, right, or
Mm-hmm.
even the Ja Rule and 50 Cent beef, right?
The 50
Like
Cent Rick Ross beef, Rick Ross
I don't think it
pretty
was
much
as
fell
bad
off.
though,
He pretty much
because
fell
like
off from that point on. People looked at him as Officer Ricky. Then
oh, I thought you meant 50. I thought you meant 50. I was
oh
like,
no, Lord Jesus, no. 50 Cent still ran the game after that beef. Then you look at the 50 Cent and Kanye beef. 50 Cent technically lost that sales
wait,
beef they was having, huh?
he had a beef with Kanye.
Yeah, they had it wasn't like beef, but they had like a competition against each other.
Yeah,
Who could
it sounds
sell
like more
more?
competition.
Yeah, who could sell more records? Technically, 50 Cent lost, but once again, he's 50 Cent. He was still making
Yeah, no,
his numbers. He was gonna make it regardless. But
no, yeah. I
like,
mean, for damn sure, like even with the 50 Cent and Rick Ross beef, it wasn't like Rick Ross was still working with people in the industry. You know what I mean?
right,
Um,
he
it,
lost his credibility though. It
I,
was more of
I,
losing
I
his
wouldn't even say
namesake.
that because it's only lost of credibility for those who give a fuck about that. Like I care. I was like, okay, yeah, you're not real about your shit. But like, even think about with 6ix9ine, right? Like I think before 6ix9ine, we had Rick Ross, right? Because Rick
Mm-hmm.
Ross stole the name from a drug dealer, stole like basically fabricated a lifestyle to suit his rap career in order to make sales or whatever. But people still ignore it because up until probably in recent years where he's not making as many sales. He's he's only relevant now because of the beef with Drake, right?
Yeah, he's
And
only
he and
relevant because of Drake. Once again, his music just don't sell as well as it does as when he make music with Drake.
Well, Drake came out in '09. Remember, we I think we mentioned this yesterday. Rick
Yeah,
Ross came out in '06.
yeah, but like he hasn't really.
So
He can, most of his
Rick, Rick,
money
Rick,
don't come from music. Like he gets
oh yeah, yeah,
he's known for
oh,
being outside of the music community, which like with
yeah,
50
yeah,
Cent, 50 Cent moved his money outside of the music community. That's why he don't make music no more. Jay-Z's the same way. Whereas like with Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, their most all their stuff is like music wise. Well, outside of Drake does a little bit of everything, but not on the same level as 50 Cent, Rick Ross, Jay-Z.
yeah. I mean, I only bring that up because of the fact that uh, I think the only thing Rick Ross gained with the affiliation with Drake is relevancy throughout the years.
Yeah,
Because we can't say that Drake made Ross because he was out before Drake even came into the industry. But we can say that he kept them relevant because of the collabs with them.
yeah, I'm saying, but like he lost relevancy after the 50 Cent beef. He wasn't as popular as he was before the 50 Cent beef. But then his popularity rose back up once he started collabing with Drake.
Yeah, and he basically gave his career a new life.
Right.
And so, uh, and when I say that to say this, like when it comes to his credibility as to who he was before rap, I most people don't care nowadays. Like look at when Takashi was still in the U.S. making music, and even after he snitched, people were defending it, saying, "Oh well, he's not about that. It's okay or whatever." Rap heads were like, "Well, he snitched. It's not something that we condone. We don't fuck with snitches, whatever." You know what I
Right.
mean?
And
And so
then for
and
Kanye to
so
turn
so,
around and
so
make a song with him was kind of crazy too. Like,
like it's almost a thing of like old way of thinking, and what people don't care about that now. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
As an old hip hop head, yeah, like I still look at that as like, okay, you're not who you say you are, so I can't, I don't, I'll still rock your music if it's catchy enough, if it sounds good. There's not something that I can say that, oh yeah, he's legit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
He not about what he
like
talk about in his music,
like
which is
even
the crazy
even with
part because that's mostly what he talks about in his music. I'm hardcore. I'm gangsta. I'm about that that gangbang life. We shoot people for snitching, and then the turnaround and be a snitch yourself, turning your own people in is stupid out of pocket.
yeah, no, yeah, it's kind of it's so out of pocket. I mean, what I can say is that when you compare Rick Ross to even Takashi, Takashi had to leave the country, switch. He kind I think he still does rap in Spanish. I
Mm-hmm.
see him from time to time on 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 the news in terms of on YouTube, but um, at least Rick Ross got lucky. He's still able to still be in this rap industry.
Right.
Takashi, like it took us a while, but he eventually had to it got out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he's still having problems. So it kind of goes to show you that he technically was part of the problem with his own shit too.
I mean, yeah, he's still causing his own problems still though. Like
Yeah,
talking about, oh,
yeah.
I'm
And so
going out to your hood, y'all ain't on the corner like y'all said y'all was. Like, shut up, dude. You're literally in I can't remember what it's called when the police got
O
you.
Block,
No, the
he was in O
police.
Block when that happened.
What is it? Police got you under watch so people can't find you.
Oh, wiretap or whatever the fuck.
I can't.
If you're talking about him,
Well, that too, but like witness protection, not witness protection,
oh
but
yeah,
something. It's in the same vein. I can't think of what it's called, but yeah, like you got people watching you. You can't be out here talking about, oh, y'all ain't nobody shooting me like y'all said y'all was when you're being protected by the police. Like, come on, bro, stop, just stop.
I mean,
You making yourself look
it would
bad.
be he makes himself look bad, but he'd be dumb enough not to. Let's be real. Like in this day and age, everybody has to have security.
Yeah,
The only thing that makes him whack is that he's taunting people about it.
yeah,
That's what he's doing wrong. What he should just do is if you he wants to be looked at as someone tough so bad. That's what that is.
mm-hmm,
He wants to be looked at as someone that I'm from the streets. Like when he first came out to the industry as a rapper in New York, he was surrounded by bloods.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And and that's the thing. Like he wasn't one. Like there was a lot of interviews that about with interviews with bloods that were around that time saying that he wasn't with us. We were just
he
he's just
was a
around for
groupie.
the money. Yeah, and he was a video editor according to Dave East. Dave
Mm-hmm.
East was had an interview where he was saying that that Takashi he that one of his homies told him that, hey yo, you know that's homie, right? And he was like, what you mean? He was like, that's the guy who took video. He looked a lot different back in the day, I guess. But yeah, like he uh he wasn't about that life. He just so happened that he want in order for him to want to be part of the industry, he wanted that look. He wanted
Mm-hmm.
that tough guy persona. And like for a minute it was working. I'll be honest with you, like his first tracks are so hard, but when you now that we know the truth, it's kind of hard to look at those tracks and be like, damn, it was just for the show.
Right.
And so it's interesting to see that Rick Ross is able to still be out here like the way he is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's only because um, of how when he started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He
Back to
started.
the same thing with the not being social media area. I mean era.
Yeah, the fact that Takashi stepped up as soon in the middle of the social media era is the reason why he can't do this shit like when he first started. People called him out right away. People tested his gangster, as he said. You know what I mean? They checked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he fucked around and found out.
Quick. They beat him. They beat him bad.
I know they were gonna they took him to his house so that they can rob him. And these are his own people, his own camp. I mean, I mean, yeah, they saw a cash cow. You know what I mean? I think about it. Like they both had something they wanted from the other. You know what I mean? He
Mm-hmm.
he wanted the street cred that came with having them around, and they wanted the money that came with having him around since he was popping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like that, it's a two-way street. Now, uh, it's just something that when going back to looking at why Rick Ross is still around, yeah, like he's lucky that he was able to. And now that he can't work with Drake like he did, is is I don't think the only thing that's gonna keep him relevant would be even just just promoting his liquor, you know, taking shots at 50 Cent every now and again, making funny jokes,
DJ
and that's
Khaled.
it. Oh yeah, that too. But what is DJ Khaled just gonna work with Ross? Think about it. Like you can't work with Drake, and Drake sells more than Rick Ross.
Right.
Khaled is gonna follow the money,
True.
and if he's smart, Khaled is just gonna fuck with Drake. Like if I have the choice, if I was Khaled, I just say, you know what, I'm gonna work with Drake. I can't work with Ross because I can make more money with Drake than I can with Ross. I
Mm-hmm.
can make better music with Drake than I can with Ross. It sucks that he can't put him on the same track, but that's where it comes down to. Um, yeah, we're gonna see a new wave come out of this. I hope I see a resurgence of the baby, because the baby hasn't been releasing much. I hope I see more of not the baby, but
Baby.
who's the other baby?
Just
Yeah, I think it's
baby.
baby,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sorry, but I hope I see more artists emerge. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just a matter of how who it's gonna be, and
Right.
I hope there's some talent that comes out. You know what I mean? I don't. What I don't want to happen is for rap to be dumbed down even further.
True.
I mean, I kind of expect it, but at the same time, I hope that's not the case.
I feel like that era is come and gone. Like
What
even
era?
like the mumble rap era. Like even Kodak Black is not really a mumble rapper anymore.
Rap to its core is actual words, right?
Right.
And the thing that drove mumble rap was the the popularization of drinking lean double cup,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that's popular anymore.
Right.
Now what's popular in the scene in terms, if we're talking about what people use in the scene, it's Xannies and perks, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
that's I don't think Xannies are even as popular in that scene anymore. But yeah, like um I think what we're gonna see going forward is just a lot of people trying to just make catchy rap music. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it might not be mumble, but it will definitely be simplified. And like, look, I hope I don't want to see music that can't be enjoyed. I guess is a better way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to name any names. I don't want to name any styles, but I will say I want to be able to enjoy the music that comes out after this feud.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'll end my opinion on that note. If there is more to come next week, then I guess we might be coming back to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah,
But
most likely sometime next week.
yeah, yeah. I think we're good. I don't know if you want if you want to add anything, but I don't have it. I don't know what to add.
Nah, that's about it. We've said pretty much everything. We've said pretty much everything at this point.
What? How long did we go for?
316.
Yeah, nice.
It's a really good streaming time there. Well, we
Alrighty,
said
guys.
we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank everybody for stopping by. I think it was
No, thank you for guys listening. Thank you for having me, Demek. I appreciate it.
anytime. I enjoy your conversation. Uh Thank you, Rez, Nicola, Danny, Katie, Cypher, Truman. Yeah, yeah. You guys are really good. I really appreciate y'all. You know, I'm a literal who talking to literal
Who's
who's.
talking about?
I was just about to say talking to literal who's. You know, which I'll come through the listen to me talk. Really appreciate you guys. You're some good people.
Yeah, thank you for guys joining us. And yeah, tune in next time to Deadmac.
Yeah. Expect Syzmec to debut within the next month and a half. We'll get him with my.
Why are you riding? Why are you small close? Give me the post. Yeah, it's gonna be me as the PNG of Patrick, I guess.
But yeah,
Yeah,
well, wrap it up there. Otsu Star.